So I'm very excited to see that there are people who are
Perfect.
showing up now. And it's not just me.
Looks like it all works to me. I can play
I mean, there's a lot of chairs.
something.
I'll be back.
No.
Or you can play something on
We put a
YouTube.
lot of chairs in case there's a lot of people who do want to show up. I love it. So yeah, there you go. Hey, there you go. Honestly, it should.
Yep.
We're ready for month tomorrow.
You guess how much?
Mr. Elder,
We'll call you all if
I
it comes
will
up.
not be there.
Sure, yeah.
I'm still interested, it's not that I was scared off. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm also. Okay, perfect. I was like, maybe this would be my dinner, but no, I need to get it. Yeah. This is like. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Have you not seen that video?
I don't think I have.
I have to show it to you.
Gosh.
I like that. I need to change my profile. It's really old. I like this. Like,
Well, yeah, I think there's some confusion with the resolution numbers between cameras and
There
Well,
it is. I was going to just ask Caroline to do it for a second. Cause I don't have editing access.
I think the road is good.
And could you change my name for the data center resolution? Almost. Yeah, that's not mine.
I don't remember who else I followed.
What? But you don't like it?
I don't. Okay, like this. Like it. Because I don't like it. Actually, I put that.
I mean.
Yeah. A permanent sock. But there were days long. Months or more. So to August. You are the paying this for it. Let's go.
Oh.
Clover, your birthday is in
July 15th.
July. You have the zero, so you know exactly when my point is gonna hit zero.
What's up?
So we can sit anywhere except down in that front? Okay.
Yep.
Cause I remember last time it was like.
This is an odd setup, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it personally. I like how,
You got the camera on?
oh yeah, you're all special.
Yeah, I like that, I'm gonna move.
That's part of the reason I'm over here.
Yeah. Where is this? Put the camera back up so I can see what I have. Okay.
You're out of there.
This is fine.
Alright.
My name is signing. I'm going to sign again.
Okay.
Like.
Everybody ready for happy, fun time, GBM?
At least we might get paid more because it might go 3 hours.
Really hoping it doesn't.
Hey, we gotta make it to half priced apps.
That is true.
Alright, I gotta go clock in.
I'll just say that.
What?
I said this is going to be very chaotic. Is all I'm gonna say. That's my only comment.
Yes, sir.
It's a weird fucking thing on the door.
Was it? What?
On the other door.
Oh, look at it. Somebody's cool bug.
Did I broke my name?
Wait, no, I think they're,
I was gonna go.
oh, your name?
Yeah. Probably. I don't think necessarily. Question mark?
Yes, that's why I. One.
Okay.
Yeah, placards are all up there. We finally have an in-person parliamentarian.
That we do. So, my plan is to take have these try to catch folks out here. But if we can't, we just have to have it out.
They hook these up to the laptop.
Yeah, so. For instance, someone's sitting out there, I don't know if they'll be caught by that or not. Hopefully they are. If not, we just have to do something. If they are, thumbs up.
Carly, is that by chance?
What?
Or Lisa, is that by chance?
I do not, but our office is on the day.
I knew she was coming to the meeting, so.
I'll give
We're
her,
gonna watch her walk in or something.
I mean, we will see her again, yeah. You do not. I'd rather this substitute. Use it. Open port. USB.
I don't know if this is like the right USB port or not.
Real trying to figure
Record. Very quick. Is that a did or off? It's dead here. Use this one.
I don't really mind, but
You sure?
yeah, I'll look at it. Appreciate it though. It's already up.
Come on, wait.
Come on now. The mouse has a warp sequence like.
Like dialogue.
Right.
Oh. So we can make sure, don't go to the one.
Just one I've heard for one specific thing on this agenda. I don't think we're hitting that 2-hour limit.
I'm just saying.
The Matthew came in the room, said we might be getting paid a little extra today.
Oh, okay, he does these most places.
Yeah, I was gonna try to talk to her before the meeting started about the petition.
Does
I mentioned it
I said
earlier when I called her.
Oh, I already have. I don't know how much, I only got like 10 or so from.
It's really tricky up there.
Yes.
Oh.
I did.
Hello, my name is Snapple.
Bell.
You get during Christmas.
What?
On those petitions. Did I give you those?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I think I have it. Oh, John left without the one for BSS? I was gonna say Clara was insisting that we did that one, so. It's gonna- That'd be a little weird if we did.
Like getting all this. But we do have.
Marcus, is there a place I can get it? You ever know if it's like 988?
I have at least one signature I had to draw,
I
because
might
they
be
no
able
Riz
to
number,
reach
no
us, I might
legal
be able to
name,
get it
or, no
Bishop,
email.
which one?
So, like, we can't exactly verify that one, like, I appreciate it, but.
Well.
I just worry that we start.
Oh, yeah. Someone from the house looks there, says that he wants to- It was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to support this one, I support it, but I don't know if my boss would get me in trouble if I signed it.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
She's really nice though.
She was.
We got quite a few people.
But it's okay, it's been, well, that's what.
Someone for, what's his name? Ned Zimmer or something?
Was here.
No, someone from the campaign.
Oh.
Apparently someone that used to work at OU in like the 80s. He said one of the things he did was, he got to ride in Jimmy Carter's limo when he came to OU in the 80s.
I got it.
It's a friend for
You have ideas for
many
this?
years straight.
Was that the 9th or the 66th? Because he said two different people, so.
I know.
It said the 9th or 66th.
The only ones who I think will be of note to us
You're okay.
would probably be Sarah Towns. She's running for Dynasty. And
Brandon unseemly complaint, that's the only. Complaint is,
and there is a. There's actually an OU professor who's running for the House. Not this.
oh, wait, I think it would be Arnold.
Don't know.
Where's the microphones?
They aren't working in this room yet, but
You lied to me.
these should capture your voice.
No. You
No.
lied to me,
When
Marcus.
did I lie to you?
You said we'd have microphones. You liar.
Yeah, they were.
These work, but these should pick up your voice.
Shut up. You knew what I meant. No.
No, we can have a good old fashioned.
If it makes you feel any better, I was lied to.
Is this our room from now on?
Yeah,
Thank you for fucking Christ. I
yeah,
love
Marcus,
this
what if
room.
we did what Marion had to do last year, is have a chair run around the room?
That's why the podium is there.
Are we get this room? Or this?
For the most part, for this
I
semester.
was kind of a fan of.
But yeah, I was too, but those are.
No, they're ugly. They don't have this. Look at that view. Look at that view.
I'm okay with that, but the view is okay, somewhat distracted.
Who cares? Do you pay
Yeah.
I cannot talk
I'm
to
gonna have you presented this podium so you can.
You
talk
pay
right there.
attention all the time. I can't get my keys out today.
No.
Perfect.
It's.
Hey,
How are you? I hear you get that
The little. Yes, I did.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's like that. Jared didn't realize the semester started. He's like, what's up to everywhere?
Yeah, Tokyo for a week, yes.
No, it's a great city. I'm very happy to see such. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost forgot. That's Marcus. I don't even know. I told you about Professor Roberts. Yeah.
Sounds
She wants to sign on as a supporter of our resolution. Or it's, she's talking to her unit today. About it.
What is my professor?
Yes, Professor Dr. Ken.
Yes.
High school. It's literally battles. BATTL, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
I know, she is like the best woman I've ever met. I love Dr. Kathleen Battles.
Probably should.
Her, Dr. Sanders, Dr. Eric Myers, was badass, the best journalism professor. Yeah.
Hey, Ally.
Message today, I, need your response.
Oh, it's hard to keep busy. Ah, the microphone.
Apparently I do.
Oh.
Alright, as is standard, we're gonna wait until about 5 minutes after 5:30, so give it about 10 minutes and we'll start the meeting. Ended at 4:47.
No, not when I got the email. But I didn't tell him about the resolution. Oh, I wasn't sure. If you want, you can email him about it.
I was going to.
Oh, where's the What's the casualties? Yes.
That's where I do the name for this one. I just like see names or like forget.
I did cut my throat, so yeah, it's okay, you just slit my throat, it's one
Couple of the songs I thought they had died.
I know that was.
I have really bad lungs, I have to feel really positive for the progress.
We're giving it about 5 minutes. I like 5, 6. How are we doing on Carolina.
Do we get flags? Can I have flags?
Carolina, I know has to be, she can be out of office.
She's okay.
My dog, so.
And then I was like, oh, what are
So,
Michael telling you.
I mean, I must have that. I don't think I'm built.
we have.
So, that's what I normally do.
Let them know to go. Kayla, tell them.
Cool. I felt it before, so.
Probably for good reason. Oh,
She can't tell you.
but I've already talked, like, just. I need to.
As do I had a cousin who was similar. Those things go. And most times they catch those things.
Because I have and the hinges.
Right about
And
now.
so, but the hinges is one thing. So I just went to the computer store and I was like, okay, guys, what's going on? And the first time I took it, like, it was just those cards. And they're like, oh, it's just, plastic casing. So like, as long as you're careful with it, it should be fine. I was like, okay. And I was more careful with it because I was afraid what happened to the yeah, he's taken a couple tumbles. He's been sitting in my car and I was like, that has happened. Yeah, exactly. And so I took it to the shop and I was like, hey guys. They're like, yeah. Because I went. And then it like. Shut through like. And it literally was. It took the day after I took my cat. And I was like, it was literally like I took my car final and I did something and I opened it and I was like, oh. No, it was my final. I got it. It was first summer. So I had like two. And so it was like. It's not over. And they were like, we're gonna have to replace this. So they gave me. Yeah, well, better $200.
Two people did.
Well,
No, 3 people did.
We have 13.
Well, I've had it for like 5 years. Yeah, because I was an engineering major. So it was really expensive. It was more expensive. My mom paid for like cheaper. I think it was worth it. Yeah, and then they ended up.
Hello. All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 5:35 p.m. First thing, before I move into a roll call, I would like to yield my position as chair as I wish to speak on future debate. Per our bylaws and our line of succession, the chair does move to steering chairperson Valdez. Steering chairperson Valdez, you have the floor. I did speak to Chairperson Valdez earlier, and she did say that she would yield the chairship. Per our bylaws, that would mean that the chair would fall to Parliamentarian Bella. Parliamentarian Bella, you have the floor. So to begin this meeting, I'm going to call for the orders of the day. To begin the meeting, we'll conduct roll call. So legislators will be called on, and you will say whether you're present or present voting. Speaker DeBoer.
Present voting.
Majority Leader Bremer.
Present.
Judiciary Chairperson Lavelle.
Present.
Steering Chairperson Valdez.
Present.
Community Support Chairperson Waters.
Present voting.
Parliamentarian Bella. Present. Legislator Barris. Barris is absent. Legislator Black.
Present and voting.
Legislator Drzewicki. Drzewicki is absent for now. Legislator Fayette.
Present and voting.
Legislator Rebezai. Legislator Rebezai is absent. Rebezai. Legislator Lunger.
Present.
Legislator Maku. Or Maku.
Excuse.
Excused. Legislator Markovitz.
Present.
Legislator Martino.
Present.
Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason.
Present.
Legislator Obra.
Present.
Legislator Krishandara. Krishandara is absent. Legislator Rosario.
Present and voting.
Legislator Seabrook.
Excused.
Legislator Snell.
Present and voting.
Legislator Van Patten.
Present.
Legislator Weekend.
Present.
And Legislator Wolf.
Present.
All right. With 25, out of 25 members, we have 19 present. Quorum is 13. I'll now read our land acknowledgement. Recognizing the history and respecting the sovereignty of Michigan's Indian nations, Oakland University honors the heritage of Indigenous communities and their significant role in shaping the course of this region. Further, we recognize the wrongs done to those forcibly removed from their homelands and commit to fostering an environment of inclusion that is responsive to the needs of First Peoples through our words, policies, and actions. We will now move on to approval of the agenda.
Strike something from the agenda.
We have a motion to strike something from the agenda. Is there a second?
Counter motion.
We just put that to a vote. It moves to discussion. So we'll just enter debate. First speaker will have it be the person to introduce the motion. Legislator, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. I move to strike the appointment of the judicial chair from the meeting agenda today. In light of information that wasn't fully disclosed, but will soon be disclosed in this meeting. Earlier today, we were made aware that a candidate for the office of judicial chair had been suspended due to a grievance that had been taken out roughly 2 months ago at this time. And said grievance has only, or said suspension only went into effect today. The current chair of the judicial committee took the decision to suspend said member. Student Congress was not given adequate information or time regarding the situation. And it is for that reason, sorry, I apologize, I'm reading too far ahead. No discussion has taken place at this time in the judicial committee nor vote. And members of said committee have contested bylaw used to move said candidate. For this reason, I move to strike this item from the agenda until proper procedures have been followed and more information is available. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, legislator. Another speaker will take Kayla Snell, or legislator Snell, you have the floor.
I feel that approvals like these are pertinent to be made. However, if the legislator is so strongly inclined to remove it, especially with such troubling information now being brought to the body, I feel that it would be rather prudent of us, even though, oh yes, the candidates are listed and we have more than just 1 or 2, we have 3, it is still very prudent of us to allow all students who are in the body the chance to run if they so choose, no matter what. And thus, I believe it, in order to be fair to all the candidates, a suspension till next meeting would be way rather good. With that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, legislator. Another speaker, legislator or Judiciary Chair LaBelle, you have the floor.
Thank you very much.
You go to the microphone.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the microphone. I'm gonna stand out in front. I don't like the podium. Booing me, get out of here. Okay. You don't mind if I sit up here for just a minute? I normally stand in front of people when I talk to the entire body, but I don't want to stand right now. I have arthritis, I don't do that. I asked for permission, I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so today's been a little bit insane. A lot of people have been very concerned about this. A lot of people have been confused as to why this thing happened. A lot of people have been confused about the intent, the thought behind it, everything. I've actually only gotten one person ask me about it, that being Legislator Martino. Nobody else has asked me, so I'm gonna explain a little bit. This is gonna be a bit of a long yap session, I apologize. So, when I ran for president last term, I had put together a list of people who I thought would be best to succeed me as judiciary chair. And because at the prospect of me winning, I wanted somebody who could take over the seat that I have built and held and could take the ball, run with it. And so I lost that election. I didn't have to use it. Womp womp on my part, I guess. So we moved to this new term, and I decided to once again become judiciary chair. It's something I'm good at. It's something that I had spent a year building, and there was a lot of unfinished projects I wanted to work And I very quickly noticed just upon, hi Marcus. I quickly noticed upon just working for about a month in this term, I just did not enjoy it anymore. I don't enjoy being in this body. I don't enjoy the interactions of everything. I don't enjoy working here anymore. So I saw employment elsewhere. It's very, sorry, Marcus. So I applied to other jobs, finding employment as a trans person is very difficult. I was rejected from a job, for local presentability, whatever that means. So I applied for Director of Internal Affairs. I applied a little bit too late, and so I didn't get an interview, didn't get anything like that, because I thought I enjoyed that just a little bit more, something detached from the legislative process. You know, a part of the summer went past, and I then applied for SAFB co-chair. And once it started looking like, yeah, I might get this position, I went back to that list I had created. There's a reason why I was telling that. And who was number one at the top of that list? It was Valentine. And I asked her, hey, would you possibly want to run for my position? Just so she can get a better idea of what she might want to throw herself into. And of course, that led us to where we are now. Midway through the summer, June-ish, there was a grievance filed by Javier against another member, which I will not state. One of my main things for being judiciary chair is trying to keep like as much grievance stuff as humanly possible in just completely private. It's unfortunate that I have to talk about this, but that's my justification for not saying what the other person is. And for reasons which shouldn't have happened, that in the process of, does somebody want to make a motion to extend the debate time?
We'll entertain a motion after.
Okay. Sorry, I lost my complete train of thought. Right, that grievance took pretty much until Friday to settle. And there was another grievance filed against Javier in which it would be a complete disservice to myself, to members of this body, to the student body, if I did not suspend his role on the Judiciary Committee. I'm not going to disclose what that is. I never intended to. I don't want to. And that led to me doing that today. Should I have maybe done it sooner? Maybe. I had the opportunity to do it yesterday, and I procrastinated and didn't do it. So I did it this morning. And that has led to a lot of people understandably seeing this as more so a power grab by me to get my preferred candidate in the office of Judiciary Chair. Here's the thing. I don't care. I do not care about the affairs of this body. I am moving on. Whoever gets that position, if my preferred candidate wins, cool, I don't care. I just do not care. I am moving on. So I say all of this to dispel the idea that it is a power grab, because it's not. I don't care. With that, I yield.
All right, thank you, legislator. Legislator Waters.
Move to extend debate time by 10 minutes.
We have a second. Does anybody oppose it? Well, we'll just extend the debate time. Yes, Legislator Snell.
I just had
You might have to speak up.
Or is this a point or a motion or response or
a response,
inquiry?
inquiry and response to what I heard.
All right, we'll wait for other speakers first.
I have a statement from a member who was not able to attend.
That she's aware.
Yeah, go ahead, Martina, legislator Martina, you have the floor.
Either one of them.
And you're not.
This is my microphone.
Oh, that's, oh no, microphone's hanging. Yeah, thanks.
You have the floor.
Okay, open the phone, there we go. So. Hey, I apologize, folks, give me 1 second. This is a statement from legislator Maku, who is a member of the judicial committee. He does not say any, just regarding his opinion on how the process went ahead. I think that the student congress should postpone judicial chair election by 1 or 2 weeks. Javier, the judicial chair committee, and the student congress were alerted about Javier's dismissal this morning, only hours before the judicial chair election. This timing has 2 implications. One, Javier has only had a few hours to prepare a response to this dismissal and to defend himself during today's GBM. Second, many student congressmen and women haven't even heard about the dismissal until now. They need more time to investigate everything going on before voting for a new judicial chair. Because this is all so unexpected, student congress is, in my opinion, unprepared to vote on such an important election right. Thank you. That was once again a statement from legislator Mark, who's unable to attend today.
Thank you, legislator Martino. Legislator Mays, you have the floor.
Speak up in for real, but like for the judiciary chair, I feel like it's a really important position. We have 3 great candidates. One of them is under investigation, I guess, which we kind of didn't know until now. But I feel like with such an important position, and if we don't really know the verdict for real, I feel like we should just give us a little bit more time. Because even last year, like building the judiciary branch took some time and a lot of discussion. So I feel like we should take a little bit more time with this as well. Give the candidates more time to also, build up their arguments as well. As a whole, I think this is a smarter idea. So that's what I do.
Thank you, legislator Mays. And before we get to any more speakers, just because I know this has been a problem in meetings, the topic we're discussing is to strike this from the agenda to talk about next week. So all speakers talk about the merits of that and not the merits of the investigation. There will be time to discuss that outside of the Congress, or if it is not struck, there'll be time to discuss that if we get to the election. But otherwise, just keep on topic with the striking from the agenda. Legislator Snell, you have the floor.
I also just wanted to point out that yes, there is a candidate unfortunately under investigation at this moment. However, I also wonder and ask that with this announcement, I wasn't made aware until Vice President Matthews texted me. However, to my understanding, from what I've heard from other legislators, they didn't know until when the agenda went out that the position was even open. So I feel like even just having the chance for other legislators to think about it and see if they want to run, because I know there's plenty of qualified individuals both in the Judiciary Committee right now and in the legislature at whole who would love to do it. I know. Plus, it also would give some time to these candidates to really think about what all would go into Judiciary Chair. I feel like even just having that discussion of what that would entail from Chairperson LaBelle would be nice to hear before putting up a chairperson, because it's really fundamental. Since it is such a fundamental part of Student Congress, we really need to know what we're voting on. And right now, with how much chaos and confusion is surrounding such an event, I do not have full confidence that the legislature is entirely aware of what we are voting on, or for whom we need to be voting for, whom would be best for the students. That is really important to us, and if the best interest of the student body at whole is at stake, how limited should be given, and we really do need to factor in that weight. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Snell. Legislator DeVore, you have the floor.
All right.
Thank you. I believe this is the first time I have talked during a debate in about 2 months. So, hello again, everybody. All right, so, I feel, this was a good follow-up to Legislator Snell's point that she just made. I'm gonna be a little bit more transparent as to why it took until, I believe I posted it on Sunday as to the opening of the judiciary chair position. So as you can see on the agenda, Chairperson LaBelle is going up for co-chair of Student Activities Funding Board. This has been a decision that I've known about for about a week or two now. It's been in the works for a little bit. My plan at the time of knowing that was to allow Chairperson LaBelle to stay within the legislature. We would basically not have a judiciary chair for a week, which if you're not aware of how that works, when we do not have a judiciary chair, it falls upon the speaker of the legislature. So should we strike this from the agenda, I am the judiciary chair for the next week or however long it takes to approve one. But going back to Chairperson LaBelle, I was informed about a decision made by Vice President McIntosh, by both President Johnson and Vice President Matthews, regarding being able to serve within both Student Congress and Student Activities Funding Board. That decision being that one may not serve within the legislature and also Student Activities Funding Board, as it is deemed that Student Activities Funding Board is an executive committee of Student Congress. Therefore, since we cannot have people serving on executive, like if you're on the Sustainability Committee, you aren't paid extra for being on the Sustainability Committee. It's about the same argument as if you're on the Student Activities Funding Board, since it's deemed as an executive committee. So it was deemed that Chairperson LaBelle could not stay within the legislature by that decision by Vice President McIntosh. I was made aware of this on Friday. So I decided the next day, I decided on Saturday, that I would open up the position to go up on this Tuesday. Because I deemed it that I didn't really want to be judiciary chair for that long. I deemed it more prudent to allow the judiciary chair that will actually be taking office to have more time. So I decided that on Saturday, I was trying to get in contact with Chairperson Valdez. She had been busy that day. I believe we didn't get to talk to each other until Sunday morning, which is when I opened up the position, I believe Sunday at 7:30 in the Slack. That's when I had opened up to everybody. If people did not see that, I do sincerely apologize. I tried to make it as open as possible in the short amount of time I was given, which I believe I did still have some time, considering prior to this meeting, we had 4 candidates for the position. So I believe it was still made pretty open for everybody to apply that wanted to. But I just wanted to say that if we do end up striking this from the agenda, it's not that we go without a judiciary chair. It's not that Rose stays the judiciary chair for a week. It's I'm your judiciary chair until we decide to approve one. So that's about that process. I just wanted to explain that. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, DeVore. Legislator Wolf, you have the floor.
Super relevant anymore.
With Clover's thoughts about how like the speaker should fill the role of judiciary chair for until a duly elected one can, start performing those duties. I still believe it's quite prudent. I think it's quite pertinent that we should find a replacement for the judiciary chair as soon as possible. I think it strengthens the legislator to have her along, to have who will fulfill in that role, step in that role as soon as possible. And I also, some insight is that, to like being on the judiciary committee, if anyone's has any confusion, who is on the committee is at the discretion of the chair. But at the approval of the legislator. So regardless of who would become judiciary chair, the judiciary committee would be kind of vacated and they'd have to, find new members to initiate and get approved into the committee. So regardless of how, of like who gets approved or who doesn't, or like what the committee is gonna look like right now, it's gonna be a different committee. Not true, the positions are not vacated, it's not, sorry. That's what someone else said to me. I am so stupid, I just thought this was something big of a deal and that we could all just figure this out as we go, sorry.
Point of order, discussion time expired.
Motion to extend by 5
Okay.
minutes.
It was 15 minutes and then it was extended by 10. My timer says 17. So we have 8 minutes left.
Can I ask for a point of information?
All right, we'll do a point of information. We'll hear what Advisor Miller has to say.
It's not regarding this, is this, quite everybody by surprise, you have a guest speaker here.
We
Should
do.
not- She should not have to go through office. I recommend to allow guest speaker to, since she was invited to be here, to take care of this one first and then continue the discussion. She just should not have to sit alone.
I think Advisor Miller's making the point I was about to make.
So if the body's amenable to it, we could approve the agenda, go through it, and then later we can debate or postpone debate for the judiciary election. That way we can get through the agenda without wasting our guest speaker's time.
Second.
So, do we have a motion to end discussion?
Motion to end discussion.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any opposed? All right, we'll go through with it. The agenda, all right, now we're gonna approve the agenda. So we'll take a motion to approve the agenda. Or we just, sorry.
Just call it a vote, any yeas, any nays.
Any yays for approving the agenda?
Yay.
Any nays? All right, we will now move on to the first item on our agenda, our guest speaker, Lisa Rhodes from, she's the coordinator of Veteran Student Services. You have the floor.
Thank you. Wow, this was fascinating, I must say. My daughter was at OU, she was the SPB president, but before that, she was a legislator, and I never came to a meeting, and I'm so disappointed in myself. So, yes, I am Lisa Rose, I am the coordinator for Veteran Support Services, and I just want to know by a show of hands, did anybody know we had a Veteran Support Services office on campus? Wow, thank you, I appreciate that. So spread the word, everybody you talk to, because I'm amazed the number of people that have never heard of us. So, we are a small office, but we do big things. We have 2 full-time professional staff, myself, and what we call a school certified official. They are the ones that do they get the credits to the VA so that our students' tuition can get paid and they can get their monthly housing stipend. And then we have a part-time SEO that helps with some of the more detailed benefit information. We have student employees, they are work study, but they are not through the work study through financial aid. They have to be using a VA education benefit. So it is a great benefit that I get to pick a great pool of students from. So when you come in at the desk, it's either a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, because dependents also get VA education benefits. So they're very knowledgeable, very helpful, and they're also students, which helps us when somebody needs help with Moodle or registering, or I was a student, I graduated in 2020 from OU, but a lot has changed since then. So I really appreciate that. And one outstanding position we have is one of our students is a VSS CLDC liaison. So she is in the CLDC office once a week, and she is helping veterans transition their military resume to a civilian resume. So if you come across anybody that's looking for that kind of help, send them to us or to CLDC, but Rebecca is in our office 20 I think 21 hours a week and 4 hours in CLDCs, you can refer them to either place. So we have 310 military connected students on campus. 22 of them are National Guard, which means they are actively serving right now. So they go to drill 1 weekend a month, and they are out in training 2 weeks a year. They are the ones that might have the most issues, because if they get activated like they did during COVID, then they have to leave, they have no choice, they have 10 days to figure out how to finish a class, how to get their rent paid, who's gonna watch their dog. It is very stressful. So that is, luckily, we don't have a lot of that. But it does happen, and it happens, you know, if our National Guard are getting deployed, there's something going on, so we're all a little bit stressed. We have 135 dependents using benefits. That means their mother, father, step-parent served and earned a benefit for them. We have 148 veterans, and we have 5 reservists. Where is VSS? We are in Vandenberg Hall. So in a residence hall, not a terrific location, but we have a beautiful office. So if you're ever upstairs, just come right down. If you're up in the cafeteria, we're right below that. Just pop in and walk around and look at our space. It really, it's a beautiful space. We're very fortunate.
It's nicer than ours, I can say that.
Yes, it's a nice space. So some of the services that we offer, besides helping students use their education benefits, is we provide free printing in our office. And part of that is due to the generous donation of OUSC for a printer. Our printer was very old and we needed a replacement, and I really appreciate it. Students come in and print on that every day. It's wonderful. We have a textbook loan program. So we rent out textbooks for the semester for any student that doesn't receive a book stipend or a book and supplies benefit from the VA. We ran out of money for that, so we no longer have funding that we can buy books, but we used to buy them. But we do have a well-stocked library, so we are continuing that program as long as we can. We're hoping another 3 years. That's about as long as a textbook is current for. So, but with OU's initiative to decrease the number of textbooks, hopefully that'll all kind of converge together. We have an event coming up on Thursday that I wanted to make everybody aware of. It is our Patriot Day event in recognition of 9/11. So we will have a remembrance ceremony at noon, and that is put on mostly by our student org, SVOU, in conjunction with OSI and the Rec Center. So we do a remembrance event at noon. It's very nice. We have somebody come and play carol on bells. And then we head over to the Rec Center for a stair climb event. So if you are interested in that, just come on out. It's a great ceremony, and then the event is just nice to recognize our first responders that had to go in and do their work that day. The Auburn Hills Fire Department does come out. They lent us a couple firefighter suits. So if you can do 25 flights with a suit on, you will get an SVOU challenge point. So just an incentive and just to commemorate what our first responders did. And then Veterans Week is the week of November 10th through the 14th. We do a big campus-wide celebration for that. So we'll be on the lookout for those details. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
Legislator Snow?
I have just 3 questions, sorry. First of all, what is the CLDC?
The Career and Life Design Center.
Gotcha, sorry about that. Second, I know you mentioned the rental program only has about 3 years left on it. Is there anything Congress can do or that the student body can do? For example, a lot of students have textbooks they've used years prior. Can they donate?
Yes. And you can, we have a Veteran Support Services head if you want to donate. And previously, we have, partnered with SOAP, the SOAP org, to do textbook returns, like in December before students go home, but yes, we would love that. So how would I coordinate that?
That would be with Marcus.
Okay,
I
I'll
just have
chat with you.
okay.
third question, sorry, last one. You mentioned that students can donate, where would that be at? I know I graduated in December and I have a huge stockpile I'd love to give to the Veterans Support Services.
Great, so we're in 112 Vandenberg Hall. And if you drive up, if you call us, if you drive up, somebody will come up and get those books from you. Otherwise, you do have to park in P5 and walk over if you're not, you know, living over there. So yeah, we are more than happy, and I'll get that information, Marcus.
If you've ever eaten in the Vandy Dining Hall, go right down those stairs and it's right there.
Right there, you turn left,
Yeah.
right there.
I think it's the one under the stairs, I think. There's a dog named Henry that lives there sometimes.
There is a dog named Guppy.
Guppy.
Yes.
I love you.
Uh-huh, yeah, yeah, yes. So thank you, thanks for asking about
We
that.
got one.
Yes.
Door?
Alright, yeah, while I've not personally used your resources, I do like just want to thank you for all your hard work that you do for our campus as a child of the Air Force veterans. You guys do a lot of good work. I just really wanted to ask, how can we as a Congress like work together to help promote some of the big, good resources you provide for our campus? Like how can we work to like promote some of your events and stuff?
I guess I'll work with Marcus to figure out how we do that. This is the first time, I've been in the office for 6 years. This is the first time OUSC has ever stepped foot in our office or process. So this is new and exciting for me. And that's why I picked the first meeting to come to. So however we can do that, you know, I'm like happy to partner and give the information and make it easy for people to attend.
Sorry, last question. I don't want to take up too much of your time now. I know you mentioned earlier you have 22 National Guard students and how if they have to go, it's just drop everything, go.
Yes.
Is there anything Student Congress can do to help make that easier? I know we could maybe establish like a dog watching program or something.
Yeah, they wouldn't all go at the same time, because they're all from different units, you know, but if they, and let me think on that. Let me see what what kind of things you might be able to help with. I mean, that would be great. Yeah.
Jordan, your room?
So I know you mentioned textbooks.
Yes.
I've done a lot of work with ACMI to promote less use of textbooks and open educational resources. We're currently working on Z degrees, which are essentially entire bachelor's degrees that you can get with a pathway where you don't have to purchase any textbooks at all. So I'm curious, and I know this might be, information that you don't have exactly at this moment, but I'm curious if most of the veterans that you work with are focused in a specific school or a specific, area or sector of campus that we could focus on with the development of C degrees to support this.
Oh, wow. The majority, I gotta remember the data I had pulled. The majority of our students are in the School of Business, and then I think the School of Engineering and Venkas, those are like our top three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf?
I have some questions about the demographics of the Veterans Youth Service.
Okay.
About about what percentage of them are covered by the GI Bill and therefore have some tuition covered, and also how many of your veterans do you think struggle with paying tuition?
Okay, so all of our veterans have 98% of them have 100% of their tuition covered. And so they don't struggle as much with that. It's our dependents really that have that problem, because they don't have tuition benefit. And that's becoming like about 45% of our population. But our veterans they're usually paying for really good benefit.
Follow-up question, about how many of your people that you service at your office do you think struggle with housing?
I have only had 2 students come to me in the last 3 years about that.
Okay.
So it's definitely there. But, you know, the ones that bring it to me, I only have two.
Another thing is like, overall, our student body finds like our mental health services inadequate. I'm wondering if there's a particular need for, dissatisfaction for mental health services on campus within your population.
So that is something our SBOU president wants to explore, so we're gonna be getting into that and to find out. It is interesting, you know, I actually had a discussion with some of my veteran students, and one said, I would never even think to get mental health services at school. I was like, it's interesting. So we're gonna look at that and see. You know, they're very much tied to their VA healthcare. And so I think they just kind of get stuck on that, but that's where they have to go. So, yeah, we gotta expand that a little bit, so we think if there's other opportunities.
I think look forward.
Legislator Snell.
Sorry, I know I said last question, like 5 questions back. Just another thing I thought of, I know you mentioned that also there was a struggle with equipment for classes. I know especially once you get into our technical classes, like engineering, you mentioned computer sciences, broadcasting. The equipment can get pretty pricey. Is there any way for students to either donate notebooks, pencils, pens, things like that, or this old equipment that they've used and now are graduating out of?
Yeah, like there seems to be a large need for calculators, like the graphing, the bigger calculators. I've not had requests for equipment. So I can't speak to whether that is a real need or not, or if they just haven't asked for it because they don't know it's available.
Is there like a donation program? I know you mentioned your.
We will get
but
that,
is
we will
that-
work on that. Yeah, we will work on that. This
Use
is,
those notebooks, calculators, pens, pencils, backpacks, stuff like that.
yeah.
Is that all the questions we want to take? We don't want to keep too long. Let's just take one more.
I'll take one more.
Right, Legislator Wolf.
Oh, one really quick one. Do you guys work with the disability support center a lot, is there not a lot of crossover between veterans and dependency services?
No, because if a student asks about that, they have to work with DSS independently, like they would at any other student.
Okay.
And we get a couple requests, a semester about that, and then they do work with DSS.
Do veterans overall seem satisfied with the services they receive at the DSS?
Let me speak to that, I'm not sure.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Lisa Rhodes from the Veteran Student Services for coming by today to talk to us. Right, so seeing as some legislators came in late, we're gonna go back in a roll call to see whether they are present or present voting. So Legislator Drzuki,
President.
Legislator Rebezai,
You're gonna be absent.
oh, I have to get rid of this, was that you? Rebezai. Legislator Maku. I saw some people actually that know. Legislator Christian Darrow. Present. All right. Legislator Subu. I'm not missing anybody, am I? All right, I think we're good. Now we're gonna go back to the agenda. Are there any announcements? Speaker DeVore.
Right, I'm giving this announcement on behalf of Chairperson Valdez. I just want to let you all know that she said that she is going to be out of commission. I'm not gonna disclose the reasoning for her, just for her own privacy, but she's gonna be unavailable over the weekend, starting on, I believe, Thursday. So she made the request that any agenda items, I know it's gonna be a little bit of a rush, But any agenda items you want put up on the agenda for Tuesday, please have them in by tomorrow. It's a little bit of a fast turnaround, I understand that. We can always amend it in the future if you really desperately need to have something go up. But she asked just for her sake to be able to put it up because she's gonna be, as I said, unable to work over the weekend. Just try to get it up by Wednesday. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? All right, we will go down to new business, starting with the approval of Zachary Van Patten for Director of Internal Affairs, presented by Marcus Johnson.
Greetings. Guess today's gonna be a fun one. So I will start with a position I've been wanting to fill for a while. I took a little bit of a break trying to make sure I found someone who I was confident could do it the way both I want it done and the way both you all want it done. And Zach applied for the position, and I was happy to interview him, get some thoughts from him, and I will throw him to you all as fresh meat where he can present his candidacy. I yield the floor to you. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
Okay, fresh meat here, I guess. All right. Hello, everyone. Most of you here know me, but those who I haven't spent much time with, I'm pretty sure I'll end up spending much more time with you over this semester, so hopefully we'll get to know each other better. And hopefully those experiences that I have had with everyone were enough to convince you that I may be, as it was put much earlier in the summer semester, a good face of OUSC, as I know that many people have viewed the role of DIA as that in the past, as I am, gonna be working capacity to being up at the front desk, ensuring that communication is maintained between everybody in the office as well as students coming in. And I'll be honest, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because I do have to run to class. Yeah, if you have any questions about whether I'm qualified or not, I would love to answer any questions you have.
All right, we will now entertain speakers. Speaker DeVore.
All right, I was gonna ask one quick question, because DIA is about the most overloaded position in student Congress. I've said this for about a year now. I genuinely do not know why anybody would want this position. But since there's such a wide variety of different things that fall under the position, do you have any experience with like archival work along with, obviously, as you said, front desk? Have you have any like customer service type experience that would apply to being a director of internal?
Yes, so customer service experience for sure. I've worked in like many different sorts of jobs, from like working in a sales department in upstate New York to working as a kitchen manager in Austin, Texas. So I've had a lot of different experiences when it comes to working, and especially working with different people and communicating with many different people from many different backgrounds. So that would be absolutely no issue with me. And I'd hope to think that everybody, that everyone sees that I really do hold the principle of empathy in a very high regard. And so my approach to every single person that I meet or see in my daily life is that of an empathetic approach. And when it comes to the workload itself, again, I've worked many jobs. I think I may be the oldest person in the OUSC, not by many years, but my experiences are a little bit vast in that regard. And also, I'm completely dedicated to being on campus. You may not have known it, but for the past 3.5 years, I've been on campus fall, winter, and summer. I was 200 yards away in Presby the entire time with my nose in books. But eventually I found the OUSC, and being able to put all that like hard work and dedication that I had worked on and built up into actually taking action and partaking in a way that I think might bring beneficial change. So no matter what the workload may be, I'm quite confident that I can handle it and get it done.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Legislator Mays.
I have a question. What did you do at this?
At Presby? I sat in a study room and I read many philosophy books, and then I wrote, and also other coursework, right? So most of the work that I did was like my own personal work. I have written probably, I wanna say well over like 2 million words of like unique philosophical, like inquiry is the best word for it. Which just sits in a file on my laptop. But that's what I've been doing for the past 3.5 years, which has taken a lot of time, and it's why I'm quite confident in, I guess, the decisions I make on a day-to-day basis, is because I've spent that much time dedicated to like establishing my own philosophy, as well as like studying pertinent information to what I will end up doing, which is going to like a graduate program in philosophy, as well as trying to teach in a university. So that was the goal.
Great, thank you. Any of the speakers? Legislator Markowitz.
Yes. For those of us who don't know, what does the Director of Internal Affairs do? If you are approved, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so from what I understand, a lot of it is ensuring that communication is maintained between legislators about what's going on, right? So, for example, ensuring that everybody knows how to communicate with one another, but also one of the tasks is obviously meeting minutes, right? So I'm going to be doing meeting minutes every week, although this semester, I won't be able to be in person, however, I'm gonna be on the video doing that. Oh, it's bad that I'm like losing my train of thought when you're asking me what my job is gonna be. But, I do assure you, I do understand. That's fair. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I do understand the position. I'm very tired right now. I can't give you a good answer on it. So, my bad. Yes. I'm sorry.
Legislator Personaro.
One of the duties of the DIA that was discussed over the summer, that as much as we love our former Director Richardson, she's not the best at keeping up with, was keeping meetings. Are you prepared to do that?
Yes. And especially because I think in the summer, legislator Snell had a really good suggestion, which is ensuring that at the end of each meeting, we download the captions on Zoom. That way that process can be expedited in some sense. I'm still gonna have to go through and watch each and every video, as well as add the timestamps within the meeting minutes, but that will help a lot when, you know, giving a synopsis of what each and every point of discussion is within the meeting minutes. So I've been thinking ahead on that a little bit on how to make that process a little easier for everyone.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? Legislator Snell?
Just a quick question. I know also over the summer, you mentioned it quite a bit that it falls to DIA to ensure that our connection with the library, if there are Bible system is also up to date. Do you plan to sort of help them bring that back up to date? I know it's fallen to the wayside, not just this past year, but well beyond. So I admit it might be a beast of burden. So if you don't want to undertake it, I understand.
Yeah, that's actually, I appreciate you asking, and thank you, because this reminds me that it's my task, and it's in the bylaws, is the archivist. And I've already actually been in contact with, people at the library, especially in the archivic department. And I've asked them about that process, because online, their archives for the OUSC are not updated at all, like, they're online archives that students could access. It's like, I don't know how it is.
Legislation from 2014, 12, and 10.
Yeah, and that's barely not anything. And so, yeah, I've already gone through, asked them like how that process works, and it's pretty simple. However, you just need to be in contact with them, and I'm planning on just getting that done right away, because it's pretty much as simple as like giving them access, the signatures that will allow them to access our archives, as well as the information that we have in it.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? All right, now that this period is ended, we're gonna ask the speaker to leave the room so we can enter a period of discussion. Okay. All right, that was close. All right, Support Chair Waters. You're recognized.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to speak a little bit about Legislator Van Patten. Just for some context, Legislator Van Patten was on my committee over the summer. This is true of every single member, all three members of my committee, but all of them did very good work. But I want to specifically shout out Legislator Van Patten for having an incredible drive to get stuff done for the committee for our projects over the summer, such as getting a list of clubs that might be interested based on their specific majors. The Legislator Van Patten put a lot of energy into that I honestly thought was very impressive. When it comes to a personal level, I think Legislator Van Patten is very driven and definitely has the qualities of a good DIA. With that, I will be voting in favor, and I encourage all of you to as well. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Support Chair Waters. Sorry, what name is that? Legislator Lunger, you have the floor.
Legislator Van Patten is actually my legislative mentee. Legislator Markowitz got a legislative mentorship program going, and I've been his mentor since summer. And I've met with him a couple times, and I think he'd be a great candidate for DIA. He sounds like he's got a lot of initiatives, and he became very familiar with the legislative process and the OUSC bylaws. And I actually think, he would do a great job. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Legislator Ludwig. Judiciary Chair Lavelle, you have the floor.
I've been mild acquaintances with Legislator Van Patten since about, I want to say, February. But I've been friends with Legislator Van Patten since he's joined the legislature this summer, and he's just about one of the smartest people I know. I remember acutely in the office one day he asked me, should I apply for DIA? I told him no. I told him that if he wanted to have a good time with his student congress and not be swamped with work that largely would be unpaid because he's going out over hours constantly, to not do it. And he did it anyway. I think that speaks volumes. Zach is just about one of the best people I know, just as a person. And I think he'd be a great person to follow up former Director Richardson. With that, I yield.
Great. Thank you, Lavelle. Legislator Snell, you have the floor.
I actually had a request for a point of information to President Johnson. I know Chairperson Waters mentioned that Legislator Van Patten sits on his committee. First of all, would Legislator Van Patten be able to do that still as Director of Internal Affairs? I feel he does fantastic work over there and should be able to be allowed to keep going.
To my understanding, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, considering that it is a legislative committee, officially I have to say probably not. But there's nothing stopping him in his capacity as Director of Internal Affairs from still collaborating with Chairperson Waters. They can talk, plan, offer insight, input, but he cannot serve as an official committee member because that's only for legislators.
All right, so he would still be able to interact with that committee though? I don't want him to have to walk away from all of the projects he might have going on that way.
In an unofficial capacity, he can offer input, offer ideas and whatnot, but he cannot serve as a committee member, basically.
Gotcha. And then second of all, I just want to speak to Legislator Van Patten's ability to table and his interactions with the student body, having worked with him extensively on tabling up to and including BridgeFest today. I can personally attest to the fact that Legislator Van Patten has a way with people. I've seen him get people excited, passionate, and eager for anything and everything that OUSC has to offer. I've seen him be able to highlight our free menstrual products initiatives, our the vending machine. He's been able to tell students about what the Congress does. He's even mentioned our spike ball tournament and gotten more than a few people to sign up today, which I know will make Legislator Markowitz very happy to hear. But thank you, Legislator Markowitz, for the word of endorsement. With that, I just want to highlight that if this is in such an imperative front-facing role, I do agree and will be voting yay for Legislator Van Patten due to just his ability to connect with the student body and provide a very friendly, very happy face in front of our office. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Snell. Speaker DeVore, you are recognized.
Yep, I just wanted to raise one quick point of information, jumping off of what President Johnson just said. Yeah, it's true, what he said was true, what about legislative committees? However, I would say that executive committees, so for example, sustainability committee, marketing committee, things like that, are open to all members of the public, which would include OUSC executive, along with the fact that should he get approved for this position, he can open up the internal affairs committee too, that also works with some of our archival stuff. So he would still be able to work in the capacity of like the executive committees, however, he would not be able to, like in an official setting at least, work on the legislative committees.
Thank you, Speaker DeVore. Are there any more speakers? What's your name?
Legislator Mason.
Legislator Mason, you're recognized.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say that at the Eats and Beats, he was the one tabling for OUSC. And as soon as I walked up to him, he had a smile on his face. So I just think that he is very motivated and he is someone that we can rely on for DIA. Because I know it takes a lot of courage to run for that position, honestly. So it's a big time commitment, but I think he's up for the job. So thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Mason. Are there any more speakers? All right, if there are no more speakers, we'll enter a roll call vote for the approval of Zach Van Patten for Director of Internal Affairs.
Scroll over right.
Approval is a 2/3 or 1/3. All right, we'll do a simple majority vote. So I will call your name and you will say whether you are voting yay or nay or abstaining. Should we conduct a roll call first? Because some people have left the room.
Just go through it again.
Yeah.
Just go through the vote.
All right, just to go through, Speaker DeVore.
Oh, just do the vote and then just skip over people that are not.
Skip over the people that, all right, got it. Thank you. Speaker DeVore?
Yay.
Hold on a second, I don't know how to use Chromebooks or whatever this is. With the mouse, no word. Oh, it's not a flat surface, okay. I have a book right here, okay, cool.
I've got a book.
All right, thank you.
Red flag, red flag.
All right, community support Chairperson Waters.
Yeah.
All right, we have a yay. Legislator Black.
Yay.
Legislator Fayette.
Yay.
Legislator Rosario.
Yay.
Legislator Snow.
Yay.
Majority Leader Bremer.
Yay.
Judiciary Chairperson LaValle.
Yay.
Steering Chairperson Valdez. I can't vote because I'm the chair. Legislator Druzecki.
Yay.
Legislator Lunger.
Yay.
Legislator Markowitz.
Yay.
Thank you. Legislator Martino.
Stepped out.
All right. Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Ober.
Yay.
Legislator Krishnadaro.
Yay.
Legislator Wiegand.
Yay.
Legislator Wolf. All right.
Legislator Van Patten can vote on his own approval.
Yeah. Do you want to ask how he votes?
I'll
Ask for me and then bring it in.
Okay, for information, you can just like mark yourself as absent, it won't, and you won't be in the voting item list.
Yeah, but
So
we- if
it's
you
present
scroll-
in the actual attendance records.
If you scroll.
Oh, I see. So I don't.
Yes.
All right, so that won't mess up my actual record.
Yes.
Okay, have the legislators in the hallway.
Sorry, I have to talk to about DTE, the first thing on our agenda. Yes.
All right. So legislator Regan, actually, wait, no,
I said.
we missed one.
Oh, it messed up the record.
yeah.
Every vote got shifted.
Alright, darn.
Record.
Legislator Martino,
Yes.
alright. So.
You skip legislator.
It was Vicky, yay.
Legislator Suzuki.
And Wiegand,
Well, it's all staggered, it's weird.
yeah.
Alright, so he's been approved, by unanimous vote, sorry.
Let Zach vote.
So somebody bring him, somebody
He's
bring
gonna
him.
go, when it shifted down to click.
Just let.
Alright, yeah, somebody bring him in to vote on himself.
I abstain.
Alright,
It's not staggered, it's everything shifted down.
alright, yeah, same.
Second of all.
Alright, yeah, that's third to the bottom.
My bad.
Alright.
My bad.
So, congratulations, Ben Pat, you've been approved. And now we will continue down the agenda.
Is it one of privilege?
What privilege?
I will be leaving the meeting currently, but I will be giving to legislator Christian a statement on CR 6812 to give on my behalf.
6812?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, you can give the statement on your behalf.
Thank you.
Alright. Now we will, sorry.
I would like to motion to move the approval of the judiciary chair to point B on new business, simply to allow Chairperson LaBelle input on her successor.
Alright, so postpone the approval of both Rose LaBelle for assistant chair for SAFB, postpone that until
Postpone
after.
until point C.
Yeah, to postpone it until after the approval of the judiciary chair. Yeah, we're just, it's a motion to postpone. Yeah, postpone it until after the, yeah, that's what I said. So,
We're saying the same thing in different ways.
yeah,
So postpone the approval of Rose LaBelle for assistant chair until after the approval of judiciary chair.
Can't do
alright.
that.
Sorry?
Sorry, out of order.
It's just we, is there a second to postpone? Or?
Oh, I see what she was saying.
Sorry, I wanted to motion to amend the agenda. There's two CR 6812s, I guess, by CR 6815.
Can I make a point of order to focus on the first motion first?
Yeah, let's focus on the first motion. So the motion is to postpone the approval of Rose LaBelle for assistant chair for SAFB until after the approval of the judiciary chair. Are we gonna?
It's a debate now.
Yeah. Alright, so we're entering a debate period on postponing the approval of Rose LaBelle for assistant chair until after the approval of judiciary chair. Raise your placard if you wish to speak. We'll take legislator Snell.
I only object because to my understanding, Chairperson LaBelle is still Chairperson LaBelle. We can't hire a position that's filled. She's already here. We can't hire two people to do that. So we need her to be SAFB chair, co chair, before we can have, so we can have an empty seat to hire in. To my understanding?
Okay.
Point of information.
Legislator Wolf.
Chairperson LaBelle can vacate their role as chair without, vacating their entire role, without like, stepping down from the legislature.
It would be stepping down to a legislator role.
Oh, so.
She would step down to a legislator to allow the next judiciary chair. Immediately following the vote, she will assume the office of legislator.
Oh, so, okay.
Continuation.
So she'll still be a legislator.
Yeah, the office will be vacated after.
The office will be vacated immediately following the vote.
Oh, gotcha,
And the
gotcha.
next chair will be given to me.
Okay, then can I rescind my objection? I just didn't understand that. I got.
Acknowledged. Anybody else wishing to speak on postponing the approval of Rose LaBelle? Alright, seeing none, we will enter a vote. Are there any yeas?
Yay.
Alright, and are there any nays? Alright, so the approval of Rose Lavelle for assistant chair for SAFB will be delayed until after the approval of judiciary chair. Hold on a second, I'm really weird about dogs, I hate dogs.
That's fair. It is the worst.
Alright.
It never likes to work.
I don't know how to use docs, so we're gonna pretend it's next.
We gotta.
Alright. So now that that has been postponed.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, thank you.
It's just like a-
Why is it not?
Maybe we'll fix something, it's fine. Alright. So moving on, legislator Snell.
Motion to amend the agenda. It says there's two CR 6812s. I don't, mine can be CR 6813. I don't, that's the bill, the one underneath that.
Here's a two of them. Do you want me to remove the second one?
No, it just needs to be 13.
Oh, if we go to the doc, it says 12, that's the name of the doc.
Great.
Yeah, it should be, CB should be CR68 13.
Oh, alright, any motions? Legislator Martino?
I can go ahead with one.
Are we going ahead with those or no?
Are we going ahead with yours, Kayla? Or,
Yes, please add current, but also if it's really long today.
alright, we can postpone it once we get to it, if we need to. Alright. So, any motions before we move on to the approval of judiciary chair?
Motion to strike the approval of the judiciary chair from the agenda.
Would you like to postpone it indefinitely?
Yes.
Or postpone to the next meeting, or, yeah, we can postpone this indefinitely.
Counter motion.
Counter motion? Alright, so are there any seconds?
I second. Legislator Vincenzo.
Alright,
Martino.
alright, so we'll enter a debate period on whether we will strike the, or indefinite, sorry, postpone indefinitely the approval of the judiciary chair. Any speakers? Legislator Snell.
I just wanted to respond to something Speaker DeVore said about the lack of knowledge. I believe you mentioned you only found out about it last Friday. However, Vice President Matthews was alerting me at 12:36 p.m. on August 29th, 2025. So do you mind explaining that discrepancy in alerting Congress to this position?
Would you like to respond, Speaker DeVore?
I was unaware of any conversation with Vice President Mackey happening at all. To my knowledge, there wasn't even a conversation had with him. The only conversation, at least to my knowledge, that happened in regards to the Roosevelt entering the assistant chair role was a conversation held by President Johnson with Vice President McIntosh, as I said, on Friday. He said it was more or less a passing conversation. He didn't say it was like an entire meeting. But as I said, to my knowledge, a conversation with Vice President Mackey did not exist. If you may elaborate more on what was discussed in that meeting and even potentially having just notes from that meeting sent out, because as I said, I don't know that a meeting even happened. To my knowledge, President Johnson nor Vice President Matthews knew that a meeting happened either.
All right, so we can speak on details outside of the meeting, but currently we are discussing whether we will strike the approval or postpone it indefinitely until the next meeting. So this conversation might be able to be had outside of it, or information can be shared otherwise. But in the meantime, are there any speakers on postponing the approval? Legislator Brewer, Majority Leader Brewer.
Okay, so I understand some people's hesitancy with moving forward with this today because of the removal that everybody became aware of today. The reason why I am not in favor of postponing this is because at the end of the day, that event is totally separate from any of the candidates' ability to do the role of judiciary chair. And I don't know that any of those events really impact our evaluation of that. I think that if we want to discuss the impact of that, it will take place during discussion when we're evaluating all of the candidates and who we think is going to be best fit. But truthfully, I don't think waiting a week is going to make any difference in our evaluation of the candidates based on an event that is independent of all of the candidates and their role of going out for a judiciary chair. With that, I yield.
All right, thank you, Majority Leader Brewer. Legislator Mays, you have the floor.
I agree with Majority Leader Broome about how the events, like the things, it kind of doesn't really affect the judiciary chair position. But the reason I feel like it should be postponed is because it was pretty quick. It was put up pretty quickly recently. Not a lot of people, I mean, there are people up right now, but not everyone really had a chance to process like all the candidates, and not all candidates had a chance to, go up for it. Also, it was mentioned that this went up like this weekend.
Sunday.
But even like during the summertime, and we got an email from Chairperson Valdez saying that all things put up need to be put up on Thursday, so people have the weekend to read over the agenda and have a chance to see what's going to be happening for the meeting. And I feel like that's not fair, even if it was given from the speaker. I feel like we should have more time. It should have been put up with like Thursday, so we had the weekend to look at the candidates. So I feel like another week will give everyone enough time. And even if you feel like, oh, it's going to be the same regardless, I mean, there's no need to rush. A week, you as a judicial chair for a week won't really affect anything. I have faith in you. You got it. And that's just why I want to postpone. It has nothing to do with the events. We just need extra time. It's being too rushed. There's no need to rush. So with that, I yield.
All right, thank you, Legislator Mays. Legislator Wolf, you have the floor.
If lack of information around the candidates is the main concern, I do not believe that we should postpone discussion and debate within the candidates. I think that instead we should postpone voting upon the candidates and instead still hear debate today and discussion today. And perhaps we can even have a second discussion upon voting next week. I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Wolf. Legislator Waters, or Chair Waters.
Hello, my name is again. I personally am against postponing this a week. I feel that it. I feel that it won't really do all that much. And specifically, I want to talk a little bit about my thoughts on Legislator Wolf's proposal. I feel that if we were to have discussion and this week and then not really do anything with it, we'd just kind of be wasting it. Like, I don't feel like I feel like the discussion would be enough, in my opinion, but that's just me. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Community Support Chair Wolf. Legislator Snell, you are recognized.
Thank you. First of all, I want to give weight to what Legislator Mays pointed out. She has a really good point that no one knew this chair was open, even though ever since August 29th, 2025, there was knowledge in the body this chair would be available. That means students in Congress did not get the chance to even determine if they wanted to. For that reason alone, I feel like, yes, we do need to push it back another week, if only so everyone has a chance to decide if they want to run, if they even want to hold the position, if this is something they want to do with full ability to think it through, not just rush because, oh geez, last possible second, it's actually going up. And with that, I yield the floor. I also, actually, I changed my mind. I don't yield the floor. Sorry about that. I just want to also, yes, red flag me all you'd like. Like, Markowitz. I also wanted to add weight to what legislator Wolf added, had said, because yes, she makes a great point, that also, even if we do not fully disband it, if we just push voting another week, that alone could provide the solution we need, because then, yes, we can have another person who wants to run, be able to say, I would like to be added as a member. It gives the opportunity for someone else to speak up. It gives the opportunity for this to be the most inclusive way possible, and for that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Snow. Right, point of information from President Johnson.
I wanted to state a couple of things that I was informed about, and some things I heard earlier, just so we're clear. Numero, in the event we decide to postpone a vote today, I will also note, we do not have to put the entirety of the labors on to Speaker DeVore. I am allowed to appoint an interim chair. I looked at it. It's an interim chair to standing committees. Unless we're saying the Judiciary Committee is not a standing committee, then fine. But it will only be until we actually, voted on one. Secondly, I believe someone referenced a meeting with VP Mackey about this. I did not meet with VP Mackey about this specific issue, so I wanted to make light of that. Just Speaker DeVore just asked me about that in the hallway. I talked with VP McIntosh, but I have not personally spoken to VP Mackey in a while. I owe that guy quite a few conversations actually. So I will yield the floor with that. And for those who are flagging saying I did not get to do so, go tell me that the bylaws are wrong. Just saying. I read it in there. A member of the Judiciary Committee actually pointed it out, not me. So take it up with them. I yield the floor.
Thank you, President Johnson. Recognizing another speaker, Legislator DeVore, or Speaker DeVore.
All right. I would just like to point out that we have not heard anything from any of the three candidates that are going up for approval today. So none of them had any input and anything being decided right now for their approval for their position. Now, okay, you were saying, okay, I think you said, I'll just start with the thing about Carolina. She did mention that she wanted to institute rules about having things go up on sent to her on Thursday, so that way they could be sent on the agenda on the following day, just to give people adequate time to read it. I will point out, I did talk to Chairperson Valdez on Sunday pretty extensively. We did talk about it. She mentioned that she was okay with it going up at this meeting. She said she wasn't really gonna enforce too many rules, because it's the first week, it doesn't really matter. I believe that's what she said. I could pull up the direct text if people really want me to. But I will also point out that the agenda did come out on Sunday, and this was out on the agenda at the time of release. So you would not have had more time to look at it either way. You would have seen it on the agenda on Sunday either way, regardless of if I put it up on Slack days prior. Once again, I do apologize for it coming up on Sunday. I was going to, as I said, I heard from President Johnson's meeting with Vice President McIntosh. I heard that info on Friday afternoon. I had attempted to reach out to Chairperson Valdez all day Saturday. She could speak to that if she wishes. About trying to get it up on the agenda. We obviously couldn't talk to each other. We were just playing a game of phone tag all day. But I was able to talk to her about 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. It went up on the agenda at the time of release. As for not having enough candidates, I will once again say, we had 4 candidates at one point for this position. And every single time I put up a legislative leadership position, or any other position for that matter, this entire term, we have not had more than 2 people. How many people do you need on the agenda going up for one position? Because as current Judiciary Chair LaBelle pointed out in Slack, this is not exactly a very fun position to have. So it does take a lot of consideration. So I do apologize to anybody that thinks that I did not give them enough time to consider it. But I still do say that it should go up for approval today. I will stand by that. If this legislature decides to go against me, then cool, I'm totally open to that. But just note that I will or whoever President Johnson decides, we're gonna have to talk about it after this meeting, should it get thrown off. Somebody's gonna have to be judiciary chair the next week. I'd ideally like it to be one of these three candidates, because I don't exactly see that being added to. And I'd also really like to hear from the three people that are wanting this position either way. With that, sorry for the long-winded thing, but with that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Speaker DeVore. Just letting people know, we have less than 6 minutes remaining in the speaking time, and we also have half an hour left in the meeting. And we have several other things to get to, at least 4. So just keep that in mind when we speak. Point of information from.
A technical information, but yeah, something. Yeah, just timing wise, folks. I know everybody has a lot of passionate feelings. Everybody wants to say something, but the point should be noted. We do only have this room for 30 minutes, and unlike we did over the summer, we do not have a member of staff in this room to tell the rest of the folks, hey, they're not done yet. Now, I tried to talk to the OC staff, but Chris Reed also just left. And I did not tell him this meeting was going to run longer than we had planned it to today. And we also have people on the call whose time we should not be monopolizing, because everyone has something they want to say. I will remind you all, the legislature is meeting on Friday, which would be a more informal and better discussion-focused time for you all to go through all of this, because it seems like everyone has their minds made up. No one is going to change opinion. So all we're going to sit here and do is just go back and forth in the arguing and end up having another 3-hour-long meeting we did not need to have. So let's keep that in mind as we go through these endless debates over and over and over and over again. Please, let's be respectful of other people's time, because not everybody else has the time to sit here and listen to us bicker like a bunch of children. Thank you.
Thank you, President Johnson. All right, now we will entertain Legislator Rosario. You have the floor.
All right, I'm gonna say this, I can speak for myself. I would imagine the other two candidates share similar opinions. I didn't want to come up here and make the discussion on the agenda about the candidates. So let's talk about the agenda for the next couple minutes we have. And if we vote today, let's talk about the candidates. That's all.
Thank you, Legislator Rosario. Legislator Lunger, you have the floor.
As one of the candidates, I actually think it'd be great if we could get the judiciary chair approved today, because the sooner the position is filled, the better. It's a large position in OUSC. And but if it has to be postponed to the next meeting, I would actually be interested in being the intern, appointed as the intern chair. So that so that way I can fill the role until it's actually voted on, and then I yield the floor.
Thank you, Legislator. Just to remind legislators that we are discussing striking items from the agenda. So with that in mind, Judiciary Chair LaBella, you have the floor.
Okay, so I want to speak for a large portion of my opinion here. I don't care. Whether this goes up today or next week, I feel it makes very little difference. However, as the current judiciary chair, I would say that this job is very time consuming and it takes a lot of just getting to know the role. As I said in the Slack, it's very unenjoyable, and the transition document I've been trying to speed run is 14 pages and I'm not done yet. I think personally that if we are concerned with having the most prudent situation happen to set up a judiciary chair for success, that should happen today. We want the judiciary chair to have as much time as they can, no matter who it is, to prepare themselves for the main semester and to get trained, which I will be doing unpaid, to whoever gets elected. I say we do it now, but with that, I yield.
Thank you for getting back on topic. Oh, I didn't mean that, but, right, anyway.
You're good, it's okay.
Legislator Mays.
I agree that the judiciary chair, should have a lot of time to get to know the position, to be able to do the position properly, but at the same time, it's like, if we're postponing this a week or two, most likely just a week, it's not that much time. I'd rather have the speaker or someone intern for the position for a week than have someone as chair the entire year who really, like, they could have done a better job, they could have been a better person. I feel like it just needs time, just another week. It's not, the only things people are saying against postponing it is that they just want it done now because it doesn't make a difference, but it could make a difference. That's the only argument that is, but there's a lot of arguments why it should be postponed that I feel are more beneficial for it to be just postponed a week or definitely until things are more figured out. So that's just what I have to say. And I also agree with legislator Wolf. Like, I'd rather have it just a discussion about it, even when I have time for it, but I'd rather just postpone it, take time on it. Because we have people who can, do the work for a week, but doing the work for a year and not being over your head, I'd rather not have that. So with that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Mays. We have about 2 minutes left. We'll take one more speaker, which is Legislator Regan. You have the floor.
Hi, I'm wondering if we could make a motion to implement Legislator Wolf's idea where we could just do the discussion today and not the vote today. Is that possible?
It's possible, but I wouldn't recommend doing the discussion today because we have 23 minutes and several remaining agenda items.
You also can't make a motion.
Yeah, we're in a motion, so we're in a discussion period, and then we're gonna vote, and after we vote, there are motions.
Motion to end discussion.
All right, we have a motion to end discussion.
Second.
2 precious minutes. We will now vote on whether to, we will now motion to postpone indefinitely. Like, it doesn't like me. We postpone indefinitely the approval of judiciary chair. Do we have this? So we're gonna do yays and nays. Are there any yays?
Yay.
And how many nays?
Nay.
Motion for roll call vote.
So we're gonna have a roll call vote for this. All right. So I'll call your name, present, all right, yay, nay, or abstain. No abstaining for these people. Speaker DeVore?
Nay.
All right, commuter support chairperson Waters?
Nay.
Legislator Black? Legislator Fayette? Legislator Rosario?
Yay.
Legislator Snell?
Yay.
Majority Leader Brummer?
Nay.
Judiciary Chairperson LaBelle?
Nay.
Steering Chairperson Valdez? Let's check the chat.
Her and Adrian took a point.
Yeah, there's nothing down here. These are the only 2 messages. So.
So her and Adrian are gonna vote.
Steering Chairperson Valdez did not say anything. Legislator Druzicki?
Abstain.
Legislator Lunger?
Abstain.
Legislator Markowitz?
Yay.
Legislator Martino?
Yay.
Legislator
I said
Mays?
yay.
Yay? Oh, you said yay. All right, my apologies. Legislator Mays?
Yay.
Legislator Mason?
Yay.
Legislator Earl, or Obra? That was a yay. Alright, Legislator Christian Darrow,
Nay.
Legislator Van Patten,
No longer has voting rights.
alright. Legislator Wiegand. And Legislator Wolf.
Nay.
Alright, so. With 8 and a tie, this motion fails.
Who breaks the tie?
You don't break a tie for a motion, just fails.
I-
Fails.
Yes.
I motion to continue discussion upon the approval of future chair by and to split the question until next week.
Sorry.
That was a very confusing motion.
Sorry, what exactly would you like to do?
Let's debate today and vote next week.
Seconded.
You can't do that.
We can't split the question, it's all packed into the agenda item. So we just voted to postpone this till next week, which failed, so we will have to discuss this now.
Okay, have the candidates go up just as they did for Dre and TIA.
Right. Sorry?
Sorry. Okay, can I have the floor?
Alright, yeah, Speaker DeVore, come up so you can present.
All right, as we had a wonderful hour-long conversation on removal of something to talk about it later. I'm going to now present the lovely candidates that we barely got to hear from throughout that entire discussion. So, I'll just start with Legislator Friette. We'll let her talk about herself. I'll then follow up with Legislator Lunger and then Legislator Rosario. We'll let all of them speak on behalf of themselves on their approval for the judiciary chair, because I would really like to have it done today if possible.
All right, hello, everybody. What an interesting evening. I am going to try to keep this a little bit shorter just because I know we have other stuff on the agenda and I don't want to waste all our time. So, essentially, I have been working with the Judiciary Committee since the beginning of the summer. I immediately expressed my interest when I joined the OU legislature, and I was very passionate about joining. So every day I read all the bylaws, 1 through 6. And while I don't read it as consistently anymore, I still do it fairly consistently. I at least read it, I at least read one, probably every 2 days, just to keep myself updated on the bylaws and also for memorization purposes. Additionally, when I was going for this position, I wanted to make sure I understood the role, because as was posted in Slack, it's a very intense role and a very important one at that. Sorry about that. But I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what I was getting into. So I looked through the bylaws and I looked at all the stuff that I would have to do. And I even made a list to make sure I have my responsibilities as well as powers, just so I can more easily be pushed into this role if voted in. And with that, I would like to take any questions.
We'll do a discussion period after all 3 candidates present.
Oh, okay, perfect.
There was a point of order.
Yes, point of order.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I got some lovely information from President Johnson just a moment ago. Okay, so there was some merit to the point that Legislator Snell did raise earlier. I was incorrect. We cannot elect a new person for a non-vacant position. As we are going to approve the next judiciary chair, I regretfully have to formally request Chairperson LaBelle that you resign from your position. Now that Legislator LaBelle has vacated her position as judiciary chair, we can now continue with this vote.
I know.
Thank you, legislators. Now, next up for approval is Legislator Lunger. You now have the floor.
I have been an OUSC legislator since winter 2024 semester. During the winter 2024 semester under the Ferguson administration, I wrote several pieces of sustainability legislation, including the funding of pollinator garden equipment, recycling infrastructure around campus, an indoor plant wall in the Oakland Center, and a worm composting system for the organic farm. I supported several key initiatives in OU, including mental health, the ACMI, sustainability, cultural diversity, and food security. Under the Garcia-Brummer administration, I sponsored and supported several pieces of legislation regarding all those key initiatives. I joined the campus food committee and attended every campus food meeting throughout the fall 2024 and winter 2025 semesters. One of the most essential bills I wrote last administration was the funding of a pollinator garden near the Honors College. I started out as a legislator during the Garcia-Brummer administration and became parliamentarian in the fall of 2024. As parliamentarian, I made sure Robert's Rules of Orders were followed during general body meetings and legislature meetings. I also wrote a resolution to add more responsibilities to the parliamentarian position, including creating a parliamentary workshop every year and creating a parliamentary committee for legislators to join. I collaborated with the legislature and e-board members last administration to plan several OUSC events, including Neurodivergence Acceptance Week, Parliamentary Procedure Workshop, the Live Owl event, and Earth Month Art Fair. I'm currently serving as a legislator under the Johnson Matthews administration, and I wrote several pieces of legislation regarding scholarships and financial aid. I believe I have done excellent work as a legislator and parliamentarian last administration, and I feel confident that I would be a great candidate for the judiciary chair position. I would like a larger role in the OUSC legislature so I can become more involved. I have learned valuable knowledge about OUSC bylaws as legislator and parliamentarian, including election guidelines, meeting procedures, positions in Congress, and judiciary protocol. I have an excellent attendance record and attended almost all meetings during my terms in Congress, except for a few excused absences that were recorded by Chairperson LaBelle. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, legislator. And now our last candidate up for approval for judiciary chair, legislator Rosario, you now have the floor.
All right, so I think most of our new members have left, but for the few that we still have in this room, I am Javier Rosario. I joined Student Congress last year during the first month of the second semester. I was a member of the Judiciary Board at the very beginning of this administration. And while you might not recognize my face, I hope you recognize my name and my voice. I was out of state over the summer, but I haven't missed a single meeting. So hopefully, I'm not a complete stranger to you all. Now, for judiciary, during my time in the committee, I was very sure to study the bylaws because if you're going to be on the committee and one day go for chair, like I am today, you should know these like the back of your hand. So I'm very happy that all of us know the bylaws, and I really would like all of the members to know more about the bylaws, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I'm about to beat a dead horse for a minute here, because I think there was something lost in translation during the discussion earlier. Over the summer, there was an incident where I filed a grievance, and it was me filing a grievance over the summer. Now it's someone filing a grievance against me, all right? I don't think that was clear earlier. I just want to clear that up. This is not some back and forth between me and whoever filed the grievance. There's no hard feelings. I promise you this. With that initial grievance over the summer, I believe the person and I have made up. We've apologized to each other. We're willing to work forward together. Let's not get anything misrepresenting here. We're all good. I'd like all of us to say good. Please let everyone be able to work together still. I think an overlooked part of the judiciary chair is conflict resolution between two people and in times where there's groups of people. I haven't seen that, but we know it happens. I'm fortunate enough to receive a few weeks of training over conflict resolution from the university for another job I have on campus, where the most important thing is that the two parties involved are able to work together, be in close proximity together every single day, and that this stays between only the parties involved. I don't want another event, another meeting like this happening. I think everyone can say the same thing. With that being said, whatever happens today, no hard feelings between anyone? Yeah? All right. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Rosario. Now that they're done introducing themselves, I'm going to ask all three candidates, Legislator Payette, Munger, and Rosario, to exit the room while we enter a period of discussion. Oh, wait, we have questions.
They'll come up here, we can ask questions.
Sorry?
They'll come up to the podium, we can all ask questions.
Can we have them all stand up here so they don't have to?
Yeah, kind of all congregate together at the podium.
Stand right there, stand in that little alcove.
Yeah, just stand in the back. I'll see you.
Yeah, in the little alcove right behind the chairs. Actually, take a chair from me.
Martino, is everything all right?
Okay, that's fixed, okay.
No, leave the microphone up there.
Do you want them to answer questions or not?
They're not they will approach the podium. They will approach the podium.
Point of privilege.
You have to leave?
Yeah, I have to leave. Will I still be able to be approved position?
Yes, you'll still be on the vote if you have to go.
Okay, thank you. Can we do a secret ballot and can we start?
Yes.
You want to do a ranked choice ballot?
Secret.
It sounded like she said a secret ballot and then ranked it. And I was like, what did this start working on?
I mean, that would be lovely.
There already is one.
Okay, good. I didn't know I didn't want to be sitting here for 10 years of returning before.
Does that make sense?
The first question.
Alright. So we will now be entering a Q&A period. So the first, anybody wishing to ask a question to one of the candidates? Legislator Regan, you have the floor.
Legislator Rosario, you mentioned second job on campus. What is that job and would that be a time conflict with the judiciary?
Well, I also work in housing as a RA. I have that done pretty much to a T in terms of timing. And if not, the housing staff is we stand shoulder to shoulder to lighten the burden, so it shouldn't be a time issue.
Thank you. Legislator Black.
My question is for Legislator Payette. You are, I understand, co-chair of the WYDSA, an organization I am a part of. And I have seen how much time and effort that position demands. I've been told that the position of judiciary chair is one of the most time consuming in OUSC as well. Do you have a plan for A, managing those two positions at once, and B, in your potential position as judiciary chair, reconciling potential conflicts of interest that may come up, given how many of us in YDSA are also in student conflicts?
Wonderful question. I will have you repeat the second part when I do get to it. But as for your first part, for those of you who don't know me, which is unfortunately most of you, I haven't gotten my rounds yet. Over the summer, I worked 3 jobs, not including OUSC and not including YDSA. I had no free time over the summer, and I was fine with it. And I am fully expecting to do the same during the school year. I don't necessarily feel burnout the same way most people do as in school. I was in college classes. I did the LISD Tech Center, which in Lenawee County is like a trade school, so I did teaching there. I worked for a few different speech language pathologists, as well as I worked with a Spanish teacher for obviously being a Spanish teacher or a Spanish assistant teacher. And then I also did a theater outside of that, and I still got my homework done, and I earned a history award. And I was fine after that. I was still able to apply to Oakland University. I did pretty well within my first year, so when it comes to stress, I'm not completely concerned about that, and I believe from what I know about the job and my powers and responsibilities as judiciary chair, I believe that I will still have free time at the end of my day. Regarding conflicts of interest, as you mentioned, could you repeat or kind of just like go over what you said again? So,
There's a healthy handful of us who are in both YDSA and ODSC, and being judiciary chair of one and chair of the other, I'm wondering what your plan is for reconciling those and remaining neutral in circumstances like internal disputes or conflicts that would require you to very firmly and definitively take off the YDSA hat.
So, I'm assuming you mean more like towards grievances. So when it comes to grievances, judiciary chair acts as not really a voting member, nor are they supposed to give their opinion. They're supposed to be a very neutral member that just organizes anything that happens. Ultimately, it comes to the decision of the Judiciary Committee, which is all the members except for the Judiciary Chair. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. Additionally, this is outside of YDSA. What my job here is different than my job for YDSA. I do different organizing work, while initiatives might be similar, that will not be influencing my decision in grievances or social issues. That was it.
Thank you, Legislator Black. Legislator Snell.
Legislator Bayette. So part of the issue with judiciary chairs that legislator Lavelle brought up to the body is that you get no time to work on anything. In taking over this role, I know you are very hands-on right now with the AI initiative. Are you willing to let that go in order to prioritize being the judiciary chair?
Genuinely, if it comes to that, I would. If it comes to the point where I am not able to do my job as judiciary chair, it's not my place. I would pass it along to someone else, or ultimately, if it would fail, it would fail. Ultimately, my job would be as judiciary chair, and
Thank you. Another question from Legislator Markovitz.
So this is a question for both of you, slightly different question though. So Legislator Rosario, with the Judiciary Committee being something that's intended to be, I'm blanking on the term, but not, somebody help me with that very obvious word that means not, thank you, unbiased, that's the word. Unbiased. I think it is a little alarming that there have been some cases that like none of us really understand what's going on behind the scenes. Like it's all like just super vague to us. So if you just wouldn't mind commenting on that point, and then for both of you, since Rose kind of handpicked you, if you could just speak a little bit more to assuring us that you're not just gonna be doing exactly what Rose wanted and you're now just her puppets or something, that like you're independent and you're gonna bring, you know, your own perspective to the role.
Who are you asking first?
We'll go with Rosario first.
All right, I don't know how much. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I don't want to overspeak. So if Rose wants to come over here and we can have a quick chat about it.
Okay.
Just
in the microphone?
Well, yeah, not right here.
Okay, I was like, in front of the mic, I was
Good chat about it right here.
Right here in front of them, right? Alright. Hi, guys. I think you need time.
In the meantime, Val, if I had to take and respond.
Repeat the question, that kind of threw me off. I know it was about,
You
roads
said
that
repeat,
reflect
right?
us.
Sorry, I missed.
Yeah,
Just basically, since like it's supposed to be like an independent position, but like obviously like somebody has to like recommend you for the position.
Yeah.
And if you could just talk to like the fact that yes, you were recommended by Rose, but it's not like you're just like fulfilling her vision.
yeah, so when it comes to like my own initiatives, well, I will say I do share some of like same initiatives that Rose does. I eventually want to end up branching out and doing my own initiatives. My goals as judiciary chair, besides like interpretation of the bylaws, and also like doing the role of the judiciary chair, I don't really want to copy someone else. I rather make initiatives that help student congress in the long run, especially when it comes to like organization of the bylaws themselves. As right now, they are very disorganized and all have different formatting. So that's an initiative that I want to, it's a smaller initiative, but I would have to really think on what I want to do later. And I'd be willing to talk to you about that later as well if I am elected.
Javier, if you'd like to finish the second half of what you were saying.
Absolutely. So both of them are pretty much regarding the same thing. Over the summer, I think of them as a family member, we were very close. And regarding the events in Palestine over the summer, I lost that friend, and I made some comments I'm not particularly proud of, but I read those comments and I will not, and that's not me. I was emotionally distressed, and that's the gist of it without getting into specifics.
Thank you, Legislator Rosario. Legislator Ludwig, you're recognized. Or Chairperson. I apologize.
Here is a legislator.
So this is a question for both of you. It is my understanding that the role of judiciary chair oversees a lot of what SAFB does if there's any issues between SAFB and organizations. And you also interpret both SAFB bylaws and OUSC bylaws. I just want to know how you would go about handling any biases related to organizations, personal matters, things like that for both of you, if that is relevant.
Point of information.
Is that relevant?
Just a quick correction, the judiciary chair in the committee has second hand interpretation of the SAFB bylaws. The primary interpretation goes to the chair.
Cool.
I was going to second that. I was going to say that. But so essentially, like, can you clarify your question? It's a little bit confusing for me.
So in the SAFB appeals process, it goes back through SAFB, and then if there's still confusion, it goes to the Judiciary Committee. Let's say hypothetically, it was your organization or an organization that you were a part of. How would you go about not making sure that you follow the letter of bylaws versus internal forms?
I would follow the bylaws. I rather follow the bylaws than have a commitment. Have a commitment to my organization. If I was to stand here and lie to you today, I would be doing a disservice to the judiciary chair, which I don't want to do. Also.
If you're not able to take your student congress hat off and the club hat on and vice versa, we wouldn't be up here for approval. I think most people in this room are involved in poli-sci or some sort of political club, all right? Student congress, not political. we can manage it like this, separation of hats. I think both of us will manage it greatly in terms of interpretation of bylaws.
Thank you, Legislator Rosario. Legislator Snow.
So legislator Van I ask you this because I know, to my understanding, Legislator LaBelle actually serves as treasurer in your organization. As such, would you ever consider going to her for advice on judiciary matters? And furthermore, would you be able to separate the two in order to keep confidentiality on such matters to the full extent, even with such personal connection to Legislator LaBelle?
No, I would not go to her for advice. Because she is a part of my organization, I feel that she would potentially have the, I don't know, there would be the potential for bias, which, I would not bring into OUSD, and also would not be like a legislator or a part of my committee either, would be a part of SAFB, so no, I would not. And what was the second part of your question? I'm so sorry.
Would you be able to maintain confidentiality with such connection being forged already?
Explain, sorry.
As such, to my understanding, since you are co-chair, if not chair of YDSA,
Yeah.
with your treasurer, you two work in close proximity, you two are friends at some extent.
Are you, sorry.
Would you be able to separate that friendship from your position within Oakland University Student Congress?
Absolutely, and I plan to.
Can you expand a bit more on what you mean by you plan to?
Like, especially when it comes to confidentiality, like, when it comes to grievances, I plan on, like, not talking about my position really ever outside of student congress. So unless like someone within OUSC comes up to me and like asks about what I'm doing and I'm allowed to talk about it, I will not talk about it. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Fayette. Are there any more questions? Yes, Legislator Mays. Sorry.
No, sorry.
Yep, Legislator Mays.
Okay, so I have to do it, because honestly, it's given, I don't know. I know you guys love each other, you guys love each other, and we all, love each other. What makes you the best candidate for? Okay, what do you think will give you the upper edge to being, the best candidate for the judiciary?
Keep it quick, we have 1 minute left on discussion time, or Q&A time.
All right, working for housing, you get very used to filling out very careful paperwork. The same as for judiciary and especially judiciary chair. In terms of grievances, it's very important that you handle these situations delicately and contained. I think I can do a pretty good job of that. As someone who's gone through training for this, with that I yield.
You have 30 seconds.
Great, that is all I will need. For what I'll say is, well, I also, have, like, as I mentioned previously, I have read the bylaws and I know my responsibilities and powers. I think that knowledge is pretty important in itself. Additionally, I have the commitment and willpower to do this position that I think the position needs. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator Fayette. And with that, the Q&A period has expired. So the candidates will leave the room so we can enter discussion time. Legislator Wolf.
You gotta wait for them to leave.
I was trying to keep this one.
Right, you're recognized.
I think both candidates, have a lot of great qualities. First off, I think that Rosario, I believe that, whatever is transpired in his grievances, I have faith that, this is something that he could move past. I don't know if he, how well he's fully able to do, but I do think he has the ability. He seems like a very dedicated and progressive person. He likes to move past things. I think he likes to continue to improve. I don't know how open-minded to criticism he is, you know, so I can't attest to that, at all, so I'm hesitant to exactly, you know, like, I don't know what's gonna happen with any of that, you know, like, Lord knows, but for, Yetate, I have a lot of faith in her ability to be judiciary chair, as chair of YDSA, she has helped me deal with some somewhat HR related issues, and she was perceptive enough to come to me and be like, hey, I think there's something going on with you that you need help with. And I did indeed, and it was excellent to have someone to listen to me and to understand and be able to make commitments to me that, you know, like I will be treated differently going forwards. Additionally, I watched her have to react to professional failures within my organization. And despite them being quite frustrating and, you know, difficult and annoying professional failures on the part of others, she's dealt with it and does not hold this against anyone and has, you know, like moved quite quickly past it and still has remained in a good relationship with all members regarding that. Additionally, I have seen her, I know her to be a very private, very compartmentalized person. And I was, you know, like quite surprised to see Rose endorse Valentine today, because I think of them as very, very different people. So I think it speaks to her ability to be impartial, especially since Yetate, you know, and Rose disagree on quite a lot of matters. You know, that's something that quite surprised me about her recommendation. And I've seen Yetate at like a convention in which she had the duty to represent our chapter in a dual, you know, she was duly elected and had to represent our chapter upon issues of constitutional amendments and platforming our like org at the national level. And I've seen her have to be under immense pressure to make decisions quickly and with, you know, a lot of like background noise of like very upset people saying kind of things off the cuff at like the mic, and I think she deals well under pressure. I think she's very perceptive. I think she's incredibly like impartial, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Legislator Wolf. Community Support Chair Waters, you're recognized.
What a privilege, I need to go to a class.
Right, yeah. Right.
Thank you. I just want to speak a little bit about my thoughts on this. So I think both candidates, actually all three, would be very good. However, I personally think that Legislator Fayette is the best choice, in my opinion. Her skill set, I believe, is more suited to this role, I believe, and I've also personally seen that skill set demonstrated in other scenarios, such as what Legislator Wolf said at Whiting State Convention. I believe she carried herself very well during that, in times in which there was definitely a lot of anger at certain points, but she kept herself very calm and collected and very impartial and very on the cuff what was actually written type stuff. With that, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Point of order. Oh, yeah, let's make sure that the doors are closed before we start speaking.
Oh, was not?
No.
Oh.
Rosario closed that one.
Oh, my bad. I should check.
Point of order. Quorum check.
Quorum
I'm
check.
99% sure we're not meeting it right now.
Yeah, we can have a quorum check. All right, let's go back to the roll call.
If the candidates themselves vote and a legislator steps back in, we'll be fine. But at the current moment, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'm not certain we're at quorum either.
Want me to try and grab one of those two that just left?
No, they went to class.
Let's go through roll call. Let's go through roll call.
All right, so roll call, we have Speaker DeBoer present, we have Majority Leader Brewer present.
Legislator LaBelle.
Legislator Rebel is present, Legislator Valdez. You see if Valdez. No. Nobody's on the call. So Valdez is absent. Legislator Waters is present and voting, but Parliamentary Valdez is absent. Legislator Barris is absent. Legislator Cohen is present and voting. Legislator Jazwecki is present. Legislator Fleet is present and voting. Legislator DeVizai is absent. Legislator Lunger is absent. Legislator Maku is absent. Legislator Markowitz is present.
Martino is.
And Martino has left and is absent. Legislator Mays is here. Legislator Mason.
Is she online?
No.
Yeah. There's a yes and no. Legislator Ogra is here. Legislator Chidaro is here. Legislator Rosario. Outside. Yeah, he's outside. Legislator Stubo is absent. Legislator Snell is absent. Legislator Van Patten is absent. Legislator Regan is present, and Legislator Wolf is present. That leaves
Legislator Van Patten.
Yes, he doesn't have one.
Quorum is now 12.
okay, quorum is now 12, and we have 13. 14.
Yeah.
No one leave, everyone stay right here.
Sorry?
I'm still a legislator, I count for quorum.
You know, I thought you guys-
She resigned from her seat as a judiciary, she's still like us. I'm not.
Okay. So we do have quorum. So now we can return back to discussion. Legislator Wiegand, you have the floor.
Hello, I just want to say that I really wish, legislator Lunger, or what is it?
Longer.
With the title.
Yeah.
Legislator.
She's a legislator, okay. I wish legislator Lunger would have stayed for questions, because I think that would have been a lot more helpful. I think she had the best speech, in my personal opinion, out of all three of them. And she's been in the Congress for the longest period of time. So she has the most experience out of all three of them. She knows it like a little bit better. I don't know legislator, how do I say? Fayette. I don't know anything about her that much, so it's hard for me to really have a real opinion. And I might end up just abstaining because I just don't know anything. And then legislator Rosario, controversial, so I really, that's why I was upset that it didn't get pushed back till next week, because I just feel like I don't have as much information, and I'll probably end up just going with Emily, legislator Lunger, just because I feel like that's a safe option. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, legislator Regan. Legislator LaBelle, you have the floor.
Thank you. Okay, so I've said this already, I said this a long time ago. In this race, I'm going to vote for legislator Fayette. I did not handpick Fayette. I wanted her for the role, I knew she would be good, so I asked her and she said yes. Beyond that, we haven't communicated much about the role other than her current duties on the judiciary and questions related to that. I support her mainly because I know how driven she is. And when one thing I ran on when I first got this position in the summer of 2024, I focused on the drive I have and what I can do to further the role, and I've done my best. Legislator Fayette has a drive in which I cannot compare to. She will do an insane amount of work that I could never do. She will complete everything I have laid on the table that she sees fit. And best of all, she does disagree with me a lot, as Legislator Wolf has pointed out. We do serve on an ORE board together, and we're friends. We disagree on a very large majority of the things we talk about, and that's why I mainly wanted her to succeed me. I believe it's important that we have judiciary chairs that go out one after another that do not just completely agree with one another. We do need different perspectives for this role. Out of the like 9 people I have on my list of people I thought would be good for the role, majority of them do not agree with the things I say. And I see that as a good thing. And that's why I'm going to support Legislator Fayette for the role. With that, I yield.
Thank you, Legislator LaBelle. Legislator Prashandaro, you have the floor.
I think it's unfortunate that during Legislator Rosario's speaking, he, as a result, as a consequence of him being unfortunately sort of embroiled in scandal, he had no chance to discuss, almost no chance to discuss his ability as a judiciary chair. He was unable to speak about his knowledge of the bylaws. And I just think that's, unfortunately somewhat disqualifying. Legislator Fayette, I would like to comment, other people have said it. She is like an almost freakishly organized person. I think she would be very able for this role. That I look for.
Thank you, Legislator Prashandaro. Legislator Black, you are recognized.
Check. What a night for my first time up here on the podium as a legislator, my first in-person meeting. I stand by what Legislator Prashandaro and Legislator LaBelle have said, and I find very reasonable the comments made by Legislator Wiegand. Apologies. I am in a very unique position with this particular election, being close personal friends with both candidates who are present with us today, this evening, I mean. Legislator Rosario mentioned he is involved in housing. Full disclosure, he is my RA in Oakview Hall. And as I've mentioned before, I'm in YDSA, which Valentine is the co-chair of. And because of those things, because of my friendship with both of them, I've had the very unique privilege of watching them in a frenzy, working on stuff at 1 in the morning that they did not need to be doing at 1 in the morning. And they're both extremely driven. They both have their own eccentricity, their own way add to the work that they do. And pleading total ignorance as to the situation that I can see traces of around Legislator Rosario. Pleading the fifth, I know nothing. As a friend to both, I can speak to their character, to their ability to set their biases aside in moments of dispute amongst colleagues and peers. And despite having conflicting loyalties, I just want to say to those who may not have experience with one or another candidate that both have exceptional merit, in my opinion. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Legislator Black. And now we will recognize Speaker DeVore once the door is closed. You will now have the floor.
I did the same thing that Chandler just did. All right, so I mostly am up here just to sincerely apologize to every member of the legislature, along with every member of the executive, Lisa and Jean Ann, for basically the situation I caused. I did my best with the information I was given and trying to get information out on time for this meeting. I really wanted to get the judiciary chair to have enough time, to have a little bit more time to get situated in that role as fast as possible, and I saw today as the best way of going about doing that. Evidently, a lot of people disagree, especially with recent controversies raised. They wish there was more time raised for the role. So as said, I did cause a 2-hour-long discussion on that, and I do sincerely apologize to every person that has had their time wasted tonight. I will emphasize my support for legislator Freya Tete. Strictly based on my work currently with Student Congress with them, I have seen her work firsthand on things such as the data center resolution that we're still scheduled to read later in this meeting, along with just while I sit ex officio on the Judiciary Committee, I do not sit through their meetings. But I have heard from Legislator LaBelle very, very good things about Legislator Freya Tete and the very hard work that they have done in that committee. So I would be foolish to say I do not support Legislator Freya Tete based on what I've heard. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Speaker DeBoer. Are there any more speakers? If there are no speakers, we'll entertain a motion to enter a 5-minute recess so we can do a secret ballot vote. Legislator Waters, or Chairperson.
5-minute recess.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, yeas?
Yeah.
Right. We have not, we now have a 5-minute recess.
Yeah, for the record, we are exactly at quorum. If anyone leaves, we're done here.
Where?
Any nays?
Where'd Maine start? Okay.
Oh.
Most
Asia is
people
not
are
coming
seeking
back.
ballots, so.
Yeah,
I'm assuming she's not just going from there.
All right, 5-minute recess has begun.
So we're currently at.
We are currently at quorum. If anyone leaves, we can't vote on this. We can't vote on the SAP co-chair thing. We can't do anything else. I'm of the opinion we should adjourn after the SAP co-chair. But
I was going to ask what was some of this, next agenda item, I will just
Yeah. We were just discussing a potential motion to postpone everything after the co-chair position to next week. So then after that, we can all go.
Can you remove my editing access just so I can respond to the forum and not see the responses? I would like to keep it secret ballot.
I'm especially not. Yeah, so I can go to chat. I need a second.
Give me a moment, I need to go slow.
Oh, do I have to give you ownership of it?
Oh, really?
Let's find out. Yes, you do.
Shoot,
That might be.
You can only do that on a computer. You can use mine.
I have not, I set up the, check your spam folder.
oh, never mind, okay, I have the editing form. I will remove myself out of this meeting, if that's Christo. I have the responding form right here though.
What is for, I think any states will put forward a motion if they're not.
I'm sorry, SAFB, executive.
No, I totally get wanting to get people in as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It says it went to you.
Sorry, how is the ballot sent
It
out?
doesn't make call.
It doesn't make
Well, no, so extension
Extension is not-
necessarily does not count for.
And remember that quorum is now 12, since we do have a seat open.
So if you abstain, it doesn't
Clover,
really do it.
is it completely illegal if I put in my plug for the swing ball tournament during recess?
Yeah, I did an abstention, should not be putting it.
Oh, okay.
It's just the person.
Quick thing while we're all in recess, because there's a very big event tomorrow that I'm gonna talk about right now.
Yes.
I'm mid-chew here, but, everybody, if you can please help me with last minute promoting for the event. Our numbers are crazy low, and I've been promoting it all summer long. I put in so many hours. I'm literally wearing my cleats right now because I bleed spike ball. So if you guys could help me with that, greatly appreciate it. OURoundNet on the Instagram. They have the sign up links that you can pass along to people. So it would be greatly appreciated because despite all success is our success.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can grab it.
If there was any time for me to chair for the first time. it would be today.
Yeah. For this whole meeting.
I need that chicken Alfredo.
No.
Tomorrow,
Thursday, let me, what time do? Anytime?
30 seconds.
Yeah, after like two.
I literally I have no idea. I sent out individual messages.
Isn't the long stay like?
Recess is over. Yeah. Do you have a bell?
It was like how are they supposed to not use that?
Recess is ended, right?
That was legislator who?
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd talk to them first. And then,
Okay, let's go.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've just like, if we could just vote it like before, and then it's like.
Or it's a whole.
Yeah, okay, guys, because I got so scared when they said.
Kayla, would you like to be vice president?
Somebody did that.
You could just keep president voting. It's okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, what's happening?
Yeah. No, but I'm glad you did that, because I had to learn how to do that.
Okay.
So that was.
Kayla, have the form, legislative.
Yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable.
Okay.
So, you will call me. I'll do somebody. Yeah.
Are you coming off this?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna do.
I don't know why you switched a couple of days.
No.
Yeah.
Good, I will see you there.
No, he's in.
Hello. We should be doing this.
We should reserve rooms for 4 hours.
Is the vote done, Marcus?
He's gaveled us back in, so it's, yes. But.
I'm attending virtually, don't tell me.
We love you there. Right. Parts of the person voted. Wait, you can't vote anymore? That's why I said quorum's technically 12 now. It's technically 12? Because of the one vacant seat now. So are we out of quorum? No, we're in the quorum. Yeah, let's.
How many people do we have virtual?
We have Vince, and then waiting on the Lance, Matthews, Snell. Fair. Alright, so we have. Well, that says 14. I'm sorry.
Mays?
Mays did leave.
Yes.
Alright. It's still here.
Okay. Alright. Ben's out of the room, Ben stepped out, but there's a couple of people out of the room.
For the secret ballot, just kind of how it goes.
For the secret ballot, fine, the next agenda item.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah. We're exactly at quorum at 13. Should be invite the other.
Well, quorum is.
Whole quorum is
Quorum
involved.
should invite the other two.
I'll invite those two back in.
Yeah, invite them back in.
Invite them back in.
Tell them to bring
Do
their chairs
count
in.
And.
I can do that. Lansing is still present.
Yeah, Mike, we counted
Yeah, he's
Lance
online.
online.
What?
He's online.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, Michael.
I heard it's a bit chaotic. Legislator Mark, that's your name.
Michael.
Would you like to be marked president or president voting? President. All right.
I'll do another count, just to make sure you got it.
That's 12 plus, we have, right, we have 11 plus. Right, he's back.
Ernie's not on, just.
Oh, no.
11 plus
Then we have
three.
Markowitz online, we have Martino online.
And Snell online.
And Snell, so we're good, we're good.
Do the rest.
Come on.
Right,
Introduce you.
anyway, we have the results from the election. Congratulations to legislator Valentin Fayette. You have been elected as the judiciary chair. All right, now we'll go back to the agenda. I need to pull this tab with the other tabs. Now, we're gonna entertain a motion to postpone the rest of the agenda until the next meeting.
Wait.
Sorry.
Seconded.
Well, we have to make the motion first.
Yeah, a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to postpone CR 6812, CB 6812, and CR 6813 until further, until the next meeting.
Seconded.
Seconded.
All right, yays?
Yay.
Any nays? All right, so these agenda items have been delayed. We have the approval of Rose LaBelle still up there. Are we gonna look through that? Yes. So, now we will proceed to the approval of Rose LaBelle for assistant chair for SAFB. So Hallie Ludwig will present.
Hey, guys. I'll just be my assistant chair. I'm gonna let her speak for herself.
I feel like this doesn't need to be said, but very obviously, upon my approval for assistant chair at SAB, I will vacate my role as a legislator. Okay, so I touched on this earlier when we were talking about a bunch of hoopla about why I wanted to go for this role. And I touched on the part where I don't enjoy my current job. This is true. Love OUSC, I'm done. So why do I want to be SAFB assistant chair? Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. So, sorry. I've always wanted to at least get a little bit more in touch with SAFB, but of course my role within OUC has separated me from that. And I'm not completely devoid of financial experience, although most of you know I am a political science major. I'm a third-year student and with a communications minor. The financial experience I bring to the table for the Student Activities Funding Board, I'm gonna keep this short because we've already been here for too long. In high school, I was the kind of like director for my yearbook club. Now, keep this in mind, I grew up in like a tiny little town, like southeast of West Branch and 2 hours up north. The school's population was like 200. They had to force people into a yearbook class because nobody wanted to do it. I organized that. Every year in our community, we ran a continuous deficit because all of the seniors were just waiting to get out. And so none of them bought their yearbook because they didn't care. But one thing I noticed is, while just heading up my yearbook, at, my high school, we had a lot of older people in our community because the majority of people from my high school didn't go to college, they didn't do any, they didn't move, they just lived in the town in which they've always lived in. And so a lot of those people eventually started getting a little, nostalgic for high school. And so I put together a program, where we checked out, not checked out, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought so badly, I haven't eaten today at all. Besides breakfast burrito from the Hive, I recommend you guys try it out. Apologies, I completely lost my train of thought. Right, I got a whole bunch of old yearbooks from the 50s and onwards from my, the school's library, and I put together a program to track them all and also sell them, for about 20-25 bucks a pop. And through that, we were able to put together a program that to this day is single-handedly funding not only, that school's yearbook program, but also started a newspaper, which was my idea that I didn't get to do, but they did after I graduated. And my experience with SAFB in particular, I have been the president, well, I was the president of the student org, since before I was, even like on campus, before I'd ever seen the campus. And I've been working with SAFB ever since. I'm now the treasurer of a student org, so I'm still working with, SAFB from a student standpoint. And I know a great deal about how SAFB functions, especially through, the student org side, as well as working with them in OUSC, well, working alongside them. And I would be very excited to bring the experience that I have, to the role of assistant chair / co-chair. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Legislator LaBelle. We will now recognize speakers for a question and answer period. So any questions? Legislator Maku?
You mentioned that you're a treasurer for a student org. Are you resigning from that position if you get accepted?
No, as per the SAFB bylaws, I will have to abstain from any request I put in. And I mean, I will be doing that. I will remain impartial regarding anything my org submits, and I will abstain from anything my org submits. Thank
you.
So point of information.
Point of information.
So the SAFB does not require anybody other than the chair to not be in the as treasurer of an organization, Rose is still allowed to be assistant chair of SAFB. She just will not have to abstain from anything regarding that organization. I have other members that are also treasurers on my board as well.
Thank you. Any other questions for Legislator LaBelle? If there are none, I'll
I
ask.
have one online.
Yes, Legislator Snell, you're recognized.
Thank you. I know in the past, Rose, you have made some relatively concerning statements about SAFB and the way it runs. Out of curiosity, how do you plan to handle that? And secondly, I know that for a large majority of your time at Oakland University, being you sat president at College Dems, you're now, I believe, treasurer of another organization. You have been pretty acquainted with having a position of power. Will you be able to set that ideal aside in order to be co-chair to Hallie? As in, would you be willing to stand down if she makes a decision, even if you disagree with it, after discussions would end?
I go outside and take 10 deep breaths and come back in.
So if, I'm sorry, I want you to rephrase the second part of your question. I don't quite understand what you're asking. If you're asking like, would I be willing to vote against something that, like a request that the org I'm a part of puts through, I will say. And if a decision is made against an org that I'm in or I'm on a board for, like, oh no, they're in a deficit, they can't put their budget requests, that's that. The org will have made dumb decisions and they can reap the consequences of that. As for your first part of your question, I'm quite unsure what you're talking about, question mark? I'm unaware of any statements made that are concerning about SAFB on my behalf. With that,
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Legislator LaBelle? Seeing none, I'll now ask Legislator LaBelle to leave the room so we can enter a period of discussion.
Wow.
Any legislators wishing to speak on the approval of Legislator LaBelle? Legislator Prushandaro?
I think all of us are pretty familiar with Legislator LaBelle as one of the most active members of Student Congress.
I'll close the door before we keep going. Right, continue.
Rose is an incredibly active and hardworking member of the legislature and has been, and I think she'd be very able in a position at SAFB. And with that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Legislator Prushandaro. Speaker DeVore, you're now recognized.
So,
Second time.
all right, yeah, kind of gonna bounce a little bit off what Legislator Prushandaro just said. I'm not gonna sit around here and beat the dead horse. Everybody knows who Legislator LaBelle is. She's been a very long time friend of mine, basically since I got here at OU. She's about the only reason I'm involved at all on campus, including OUSC. If you don't remember last spring, I did run with her. That's the only reason I am the speaker as of right now is because I ran with her. And about, as I said back then, and as I will continue to say, I will continue to support her for any role she decides to go to, because I have seen firsthand just how qualified she is for anything that she would want to go through. I would not continue to work with her. I would not continue to be her friend.
Pause for a sec.
If I did not get to see just firsthand just how capable she is, how great she is at pretty much anything she does. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit around here and beat a dead horse, but I do vehemently support Legislator LaBelle for this position, even if I will be sorry to see her leave the legislature, that she was one of the people that helped me join. With that, I will yield the floor.
Thank you, Speaker DeVore. Any other speakers? Any speakers online? All right, seeing none, we're gonna do a roll call vote on the approval of Legislator LaBelle for SAFB Assistant Chair. All right. So I will call your name and you'll state yay, nay, or abstain. So you can't abstain in this column. Speaker DeVore?
Yay.
Community Support Chairperson Waters?
Yay.
Legislator Black?
Yay.
Legislator Fayette?
Yay.
Chairperson Fayette, sorry. Legislator Rosario?
Yay.
Legislator Snell?
Nay.
Majority Leader Brewer?
Yay.
We're gonna ask LaBelle to vote after. Legislator Juzwicki?
Yay.
Legislator Maku?
Yay.
Legislator Markovitz online?
Yay.
Thank you. Legislator Albrecht?
Yay.
Legislator Christian.
Yay.
And Legislator Ben, or Legislator Wolf, sorry. All right, not here. All right. Will someone get, Legislator Bell to get the vote? Let's see. Great.
I have legislative.
How do you vote?
Yay.
Alright. And with that, you have been approved as Assistant Chair of SAFB. Congratulations. And now to go through the rest of the agenda items. No old business. Are there any points of discussion?
Motion.
Hmm?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all yeas?
Yay.
Any nays? All right, we have adjourned for today. Legislator Markowitz, if you wouldn't mind texting me after to talk about the spike ball tournament.
So.
I love football.